Okay, so today I'm playing a very new release. I think it just came out yesterday, and so it's just called Chess exclamation mark. Quite a good ubiquitous name. That was half the value of chess.com right there. Just the fact that it's called chess.com with no other, qualifier like lit chess or something else. But basically, this game hopefully will do what I've always talked about, which is my whole adult life. I've practically clamored for a game that's like, give me a game that is 3D boards like Chess Ultra or all these other ones that also has an active player base, but it's literally impossible to find one. Right? Chess Ultra is great visually, right? You get the 3D board, that whole vibe, but nobody plays it. 20 people play it. It won't be very meaningful rating, good matchups. It'll be very, very limited. And so every other game like that I've tried is like that, where it's just dead. Like even last week, I was forced to play Roblox chess while waiting for this because it's like, that was still more active. There were at least some little kids on there playing chess, and hey, kids can be good at chess, but basically, it wasn't. I was still fun. I had a 3D board. People will say, oh, those websites have 3D boards technically, chess.com and LeChess, but they're kind of weird and they're at like a halfway angle, so it's not like full 3D. It doesn't give the same vibe, and it gives some people a headache. Apparently, they always complain when I would use it, but like that's okay. But that's basically your two choices: either you play on one of those two sites, chess.com or LeChess, that has an active player base, or you play one of those dead games like Chess Ultra that has a 3D board but no player base. There's always a compromise. So you would think for such a well-known, universally recognized game like chess, there should be one definitive game that has both that everybody plays and is a go-to thing. There'll be like VR chess games, but those will probably also be dead. I don't know if you can use VR with this, but it's such a simple thing to expect, but yet it's so hard to find that one chess game. So hopefully this will be the one. It doesn't seem like it's had that big of a release. Like I when I bought it on Steam just now before starting, it only had like it was only like $4, I guess, but it only had like 3 Steam reviews or whatever. So you would think it's not super well known yet, but and that's the whole beauty of it. Even if it has an active player base, it's kind of cheating the process because it's like, it doesn't actually have a player base, but it's just borrowing the player base from another site. So you might expect at some point that there'll be a game like this that does it with chess.com too, right? Or either or. That one might be harder to do because chess.com is whatever, more corporate, whatever. They just have more rules and stuff. The chess is open source free, so that's the developer, I think, Exeter. So it's a great idea, and so I'm rooting for it. I'll even give my own Steam review once I'm done playing for today if I like it, or even if I don't. I'll say what my issue with it is just to support it. But yeah, I mean, it really is very, very important thing for me. And of course, it's very fitting because even when I fail a permadeath chess challenge on chess.com, I always go to LeChess as my backup site anyway. And not that there's anything else to go to. Chess24 is dead or whatever. It was bought out by chess.com, so I don't think you can play on there anymore. So the point is that basically you're put in a position where, I would end up playing on LeChess anyway. So it's not like I'm going out of my way or doing anything crazy to do this. It's convenient. So let's see how it works. I will have to set up my account, I'm sure, which I'm not probably going to show on stream, I would assume, obviously. So hopefully it integrates pretty seamlessly, or it actually opens a browser page. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so we authenticated, got my account in there. So we are a top 6,000 classical player in the world, by the way, on the chess, because whatever, 1,700 for what it's worth. So where is he going to show me all that? Where's he going to show me my, or wait, open the chess stats. Oh no, but it should show it in the game. That's the whole point. What do you mean? With the power of chess, you can play against millions of other players, grow your skills against powerful AI, learn lifetime of chess puzzles. Please enter. I don't think it's like associated. It even said that on the Steam page. It's not affiliated with them, but I guess they allow it or whatever. Yeah, I'll leave my feedback after, dude. The one feedback I already don't like is why doesn't it show my rating here? Why should I have to open up a web page and look at it like that? Right? It should say it in the game. So I'm 1702 in classical. I'm 1537 in rapid. Weird flex, I guess, but I mean, I'm not even saying it's that good. The settings option here, obviously high should be fine. That's a good thing. Windowed, I mean, it's not even windowed, but okay. All music, chess sound effects. What can get really repetitive in games like this is the music, because it'll only have so many to draw from, right? Even in the short time of playing Chess Ultra, it would always, you know what I mean? Like, it would get old even then, or they had like all these fucking vocals. I always complain about that. Like, I never like to listen to vocal chess as much as I always listen to like Phoenix Wright music and stuff. Or I had that one thumbnail I was gonna make for chess. Like, it's a person asking me in like a speech bubble, what kind of music do you like to listen to during chess? Like Mozart or Beethoven or something like that. Like which classical artist? And then I'm holding like nervously holding like a Phoenix Wright album behind my back, like, like to imply like that's what I choose to listen to instead. Now, okay, it'll show me like an example here. And of course, that'll be their whole business model, even though you do have to buy the game, is that you'll be able to probably buy. Now, does that mean I'm seeing it here or what? Scene board pieces. What does that mean? Like, oh, like the background. I assume it'll be showing me here in the background. If it doesn't, then it's stupid. Because yeah, okay. Yeah, the point is too. This is what I mean. Like, you could have a million of these. You could have fan made ones. Like, make one chess game that's the definitive game that you only have to play that one, and you can play it against everybody in the world, and it actually means something. The rating means something. I don't like that, and it makes me feel sort of disconnected from the website. Like, is it actually going to work? Is there going to be some kind of bug? You could say like, oh, this kind of thing encourages cheating, but I feel like that's kind of a moot point because, well, you could just as easily cheat on the website. I don't see why that's pertinent. New game, mute, next song. I don't know how many songs they're really going to have to draw from, but new game, puzzles, log out, exit. I mean, the UI and everything is nice. This is all you want. You want to be able to move around the room. They should even let you stand up and walk around. Like, I want to go eat a snack like these GMs do, right? Nepo will go take a break in another room, sit, think about his move, and come back. I'll write it on a fucking sheet of paper playing a correspondence game. All this kind of stuff. So what am I stalling for? Create new game. Now, is this the same sort of setup as... abandoning rated PvP games can cause penalties to your chess account. Obviously, random. Correspondence, classical, 30 plus 0. Why can't you do, like, the custom ones, though? Like, rapid, 10 plus 0 is what I always play. So let's just do a game, I guess, to test it. Now, the point is it shouldn't be hard at all to find a game. And so it doesn't matter to them, right? Whether, it doesn't matter that they're not using the game. It just matters that I am, right? So they're playing on the website, presumably, because hardly anybody is actually playing this game. So let's try to appreciate the visuals a bit while we're doing this. Now, I can't seem to really zoom out, which I don't like. Wait, I can't even zoom in. What the fuck? Oh, you have to do it with like the... Yeah. See, this is what I mean, dude. Just give me the vibe. And you might think, oh, this is silly, but like it simulates the most important thing, which is that, yeah, you know what? The number one flaw with the game, it doesn't show your rating in the game, which is stupid. Right, that's one flaw. Why doesn't it show if it is LeChess integrated? What the fuck? That's so dumb. I don't know who I'm playing against. Maybe I'll play better because of that, but this thing is a little bit clunky too, but... Why is it so hard for anybody to get something as simple as a fucking 1,000-year-old board game right? Like, it's just a fucking chess, dude. Even this is kind of like a weird bird's eye view, but I can't quite get it the way I want. Let's see. Or I guess that's the default if you hit space. So you can go here. You can go here. He's not really targeting it, though, so I guess it doesn't really matter. He's going to go ahead and pin this down, so I can't afford to allow that to happen. And you know what I also don't like is the notation. What if I want to turn that off? Can you not? It does seem sort of light on settings. Open game in external browser. So if I open that, at least I can look at what the guy's rating is, you know what I mean? But what if I was to log in here then? Would that disconnect me from the game? You would think it wouldn't, because then it wouldn't give me the option. Hang on. Fuck's sake. This is hard to do in a 10-minute game because you're under so much pressure. Okay, so this is too many requests. Try again later, and the music seems to have died out somehow. Or no, it hasn't. We bring the knight there. If he takes, it's fine. There's no pin play, so we can go ahead and bring this here and just kind of let the knight do what it wants for the time being. So maybe those are the three criticisms. It doesn't show the rating, even though it's obviously established what the rating is. Like, I could just look this guy up. But that, and also the simple fact that you're able to, you could take, I could take, you could take, I could take. It doesn't show the rating. The music is maybe too low, even at the max level. And then it doesn't let you seem to customize stuff very easily. Like the options are very light. Like the notation is cute and all. In fact, this option won't go away. I guess it's not as polished as I thought it would be, but whatever. I'm rooting for it at least. Like it's already doing what I want it to do. You know, just let me play the game in this very basic way. You know, this is a move that you almost never see. I don't see the significance of it. Even if you were to move this, you know, move the knight and then you're able to double attack that, but it wouldn't matter. So now this is one of those cheeky attacks, but I can't even do it because the bishop would come in there. I have a half a mind to do this because even, you know, do it again. Even if you take, then I can still just take with the queen now. It was only a bad thing because you take here, because then I have to open the king either before or after the trade. Or maybe just one of the board options that you choose would not have notation in it by chance, but it is rare for me to play stuff like right when it first comes out, because it feels kind of like you know, it will be buggy or something, especially AAA type stuff. Or, you know, what's kind of dumb is that you can't, well, I guess it would make sense that there'd be no character model, but you would kind of want to feel like you're a person. We're just like ghosts playing chess. This is a Halloween themed thing. So you go ahead, you take here, you'll check. Then he'll take back. Then I could easily take, but I can't take. Or I'd happily take this. My defensive style coming into full fruition. Kind of fuck up his pawns a little bit, but then again, it kind of is creating a situation where you basically feel like you know, he's taking towards the center. So is that worth it to take towards the center? As fundamental wisdom says, where does it even say that? Oh, we got rid of that prompt finally. So we want to keep them all on the light square. And if I can do that, then you feel like you're in a good spot because you're playing around the Dark Star Bishop, and I'm also allowing mine to have a good attacking lane. Although now we're sort of attacking the wrong way, but it could still be okay, I guess. So we're not in a bad spot at all. He has a little bit of initiative with attacking the G file here. For fuck's sake. It's not even on the outside that I mind, but the fact that it says it in there, I don't know actually how you customize any of that. So you want to bait him to do something there, but you really can't. So I guess we'll move this just so that we have the flexibility to move the pawn here, assuming I even want to. He brings the thing. How very predictable. This is good. We can easily cover this. I mean, cover it. Or actually, I can't. Wait. That's where that bishop position is actually a problem. Yeah, you can't cover it at all. So I'd come here, here. The double stack would be immediately impactful. I guess you could come like here and then here. So if he goes there, then he gives up the one attack. I have no choice basically but to go here. But the good thing is I can just kind of move to E2, for example. Move to a light square. So if he takes, I take. He takes, I still take. That's not a big deal at all. Right, so everything is covered, everything is fine. This is always a position I find myself in any game of chess, because basically what happens is I sort of, you know, win by attrition. I just kind of waste time and play defensively, and eventually they'll make a mistake. I'm not really trying to push the attack, especially in the context of, you know, playing as black or whatever. Or no, I'm not even playing as black. This one's not really doing anything, so... He takes, I take. If I take, he takes. Is very awkward pawn spot. So you would almost think, yeah, that he doesn't want to do that. You could do a bait play like this, but then he'll take with the rook itself. So I guess I can't do that. See, I don't know what I'm really trying to do with the bishop. That's the problem with this position. You try to bait him to take this pawn at any point, or take with this pawn. But I can't do it yet. I guess I could put this here. Or no, I can't. See, that's the thing. You got to be wary of the dark squares. This guy's pretty fast, actually, too. But he wants me to take. And I'm not going to take... Let's just be annoying, though. Let's do a move like that. Then this bishop's going to end up getting trapped, even though it's really not. If you take, it doesn't matter. I could just take. He would take, I would take. It opens this one up a little bit too much, but I could still take. Or rather, he would take, I would take. And then if he moves that at any point, I could just take the rook. This seems like maybe way too quiet, or you can't play the sound in the background. Like, fuck, they should pay me. I'm doing like a full-on troubleshooting play test of this game. Not even saying it's bad, but I mean, I'm hyping it up, but getting some advancements out of the pawns here is really good. The pawn take here doesn't bother me, and the reason why it doesn't bother me is because I can easily recover. You could go like this, and then it creates like a back rank threat, but not really. But I guess it's better for me to just take there and get it over with, because I don't know what it's going to do by itself there. I guess I could have swapped over to the light square and then tried to bring this, but there's too much of a confusion there. So this is not consequential, and I shouldn't push the point. I go here, he could take, or... No, I guess now he can't do it, so I'll go here, I'll push it. Then if he takes, then I take, then it doesn't do anything, because you have to bait him to take this first. If he takes with the rook, I can only take with the rook too, so it doesn't really do anything for me. He's pushing there. I guess I could just do this, but I don't know what it does. It seems kind of bad, actually. It's all about this dark square bishop. I don't know what to do. His dark square bishop's not doing too much. Fuck's sake. Could come here. Doesn't really do anything. See, like how aimless we both are. He tried to attack, but he doesn't really know what he's doing to attack. I don't know how to attack, and I at least acknowledge my limits, so that's a skill in and of itself. You don't have to do anything, though. You can still... What is he going to triple attack now with the king, too? He would take, I would take. If he takes, I take, but I don't really want to leave it there either. I could move the rook, I guess, as well. And the reason why that's okay is because of the simple fact that you're still covering here. You're covering here even with the thing. Even with the other rook, too. He's threatening to take there, which would give up one of the covers here. But the act of doing that is also okay because of the simple fact that... Oh, but you know what he could do is he could, like... He could, like, triple attack it now. He could come here and then threaten it again. What the fuck is going on? Okay, but the other side doesn't need cover as much. And the reason why is because you don't have to worry about the... You don't have to worry about the G2 anymore because it's not under attack by the double stack, and it would be hard for him to get back there now. It'll take like 2 turns. So these are all fruitless moves that anybody with half a brain can see, but this is the nature of play at this level. Attacking is very difficult because it's proactive, right? So I'm more of a reactive clown myself. I mean, the UI is all okay, but the problem is that you're not really... It's not really giving you very good feedback as far as settings and stuff. This is okay because you can't really do anything to it anyway. Like, what does that move even do? I don't like where my bishop is, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. I don't know what that rook move does. I have no idea. He's as clueless as me, but he's a little bit up on time. Okay, now he's taking from the other side, which... Also doesn't seem like a huge deal. Like, you're kind of just sealing off the pawns. If you take, I take. If you take... I don't know what's going on. Now, you're attacking the rook with the king, but it doesn't matter because you can't do anything with it. So, like... I don't get it. If I... It almost makes it seem like you'd make an it would let you make an illegal move. You can't take the rook. You can't... If you take, I take. If you take, I take. If you take, I take. He pushes. He really has no fucking clue what he's doing. Okay, let's just go for threefold repetition, I guess, because there's just no Nobody has any will to win the game here. He backs off, but okay, so now if he attacks it with that, it could be good. But again, that would take some doing, wouldn't it? Because how do you just do that? The fact that his king is involved is nice. So now it's okay because you would check and take, but he would also take, right? So like I would check, I would take, but then he would have took. Like I check, he takes, I take, but then he also takes that. So that's what I can't allow. What if I just give up on the pawn and then I do it? But I can't do that. Yeah, this bishop is just in purgatory right now. There's nothing I can do. What a dreadful, dreadful spot for it to be in. At this point, I don't care about the pawn, right? That's kind of the thing. I don't care about the pawn. I just care about the... You check and you guarantee the take, but the bishop can't do fuck all. And so... Hey, how's it going? Okay, let's see what we have here. You check here, but this is a weird situation to be in. You could attack that again. You could... you could check, but you're still going to be able to take that. Right, so I'm having a little bit of trouble with this right now. You could go here and then, okay, this is good because you're attacking his bishop and you're covering. You're covering the bishop too. And so the king's impact is kind of diminished here a little bit. Now all you have to do is... all you have to do is figure a way... Like, he could take that now. Take. It'd be fine. I don't care. Now, the bigger bonus for me would have been the ability to check there and take whatever, but let's just deal with it. You shouldn't be able to mate or anything very easily. I think I'm in a good spot still. The problem is time. Gonna get flagged in my first game on here, dude. Yeah, that felt like a long 10 minutes, too. Wow. You go like this. The pawn is kind of pinned down. Give a check on the back rank, but it doesn't really do anything. Go ahead and do this. You can try to attack this. If you take, I take. Just do it. Takes, I take. I'm attacking there. You might think he has something on the other side, but maybe by the time he does it, it could be too late, or it probably won't be because he's just going to clown me, like, with the position of the king. Okay, dude. Oh, but now that's a good move because you're going to check. And so now if you go back behind, you could also check and take. That's the beauty of it. Even if you do that, it creates an awkward thing because you're able to... I can at least cover it. And so now if we march my own pawn, I might have to sack the rook. Or wait, that's still a trade. Or wait. He could get the queen. I'm just fucked. But I was fucked on time anyway. Why does that just go away? Like you just black out because you're so scared from the check that you can't even see the notation anymore. There's not really much I can do. He's obviously pretty fast. This is a 1500 on the chess, which means it's like a 1100 on chess.com apparently. The point is the game was even most of the way. I don't even know what the mistake really was. I guess I could analyze it on there. I lost. Yeah, no shit. Could still get some kind of stalemate, threefold repetition type dog shit, I guess. These pawns are a little bit too active still. Yeah, I love that analysis. Like, I lost now. Like, oh, really? Did I? Like, if you say that at least when it's like a messy position, like, oh, he's up like +1 or whatever, then it's, okay. Maybe I didn't see that I was losing, but this is pretty conventional here. It makes it look a lot worse than it actually was. Like, this game was very even. There was no real advantage. He isn't that good. We're pretty much the same. And I don't even know what happened because I thought I was up a pawn. I just kind of went for the easy pawn takes, and maybe that was all part of his master plan, but... Oh, it makes it seem like you can do that. Illegal move. Okay. Very big possibility of a stalemate or some sort of threefold repetition, although I think that's pretty unlikely. It wouldn't be that hard for you to mate here, but I guess you're just making it more difficult than it needs to be. Or you could be BMing me. Checkmated, you lost the game. Okay. So the one thing I understand, it might be difficult for them to do analysis and stuff, right, in the game, but I don't know. Like, the core experience there was fun, but it's not giving you any sort of feedback in the game. Like, don't give me a record of the chess. Give me a record of what just happened. We played the game on here, right? So you don't have to show my old games, but it won't show me anything. There's a bad lack of feedback. I know it must be difficult to do. Don't get me wrong, but now how did that affect my rating? 1521, one loss, October 25th. Well, that's just my own whatever. The site always bugs out that way. But I don't understand what's happening. Okay, that was the one we just saw. So it does work in that sense. We were like, oh, what was I really 1550? But how? 1537. Oh no, I was 1537, and then now I'm 1521. I guess I could just keep giving this feedback, or I guess I could just display capture so you can just see the site as I tab back and forth through it. Like, I don't know how I'm really gonna do this. I do like the core experience of it though, for sure. That guy's rating was around 1550, 1540, I guess, plus 11. So, yeah, we were pretty evenly matched. It can be kind of a good thing in a way, just the fact that you're able to basically, you know, not see the rating so you don't get psyched out. He could be like a 2K player. And I'm not talking about NBA 2K. Ha ha ha. Let me look at what other settings I can mess with. There basically aren't too many, and so maybe I'm missing something, or maybe it is just light. This is where these games fuck up. Like, it could have been so much better. My standard is very high because I was rooting for it so much, but I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I can't really. But what issues do I have? Like, oh yeah, let me change that a little bit because it's way too quiet. Go to like here, maybe it'll be a little better. Like how much I'm minusing the audio on OBS. So the music is too low and you can't raise it any higher. And then also you can't, there aren't enough settings. You can't seem to see the setting. You can't see the ratings of Lichess on here. You can't interact with anything. You don't see your past game log. You can't analyze stuff. You can't, you know, remove the notation seemingly, unless that's something that there's just nothing here. Yeah. Home. Like, where else can you go? Because everything is just fucking stupid. Like, it doesn't show the notation here on the board, so basic, which means there's we're just in a black void, an abyss in the background, I guess, because there's nothing. The fuck? Basic Lichess. Is that really what basic means, or is it just bugged out? Oh, this is like a Japanese samurai thing. We can save looking at those for some other time. Let's just stick with the base one, but I did want to see whether there's a way to play without the. Let's look at a puzzle, even though I don't normally like to do them. See, the key thing is it also integrates with the rating. So what you're doing is actually meaningful, right? Because it's like I just lost rating on my Lichess account. So that's legit. Like, that game actually counted, it mattered. Let's see if it's gonna spoil the notation here. It doesn't, so I don't get it. I didn't change anything. It strips away all the satisfaction. Like, wow, I just gained ratings, or I just, you know, did something, but you can't see it. I guess for the sake of the visuals, I could do it like this. Now, I could display capture. Yeah, maybe I should do it like that. I'll display capture above. Now, I don't know how that works. If I do it, you won't be able to see it because this game will be blocking it, or will it? Like, okay, now I'll tab out to the thing, right? And so now will you be able to see it on there? Let's see, you tab out, game capture is there, but it's not active at that point. But I guess it still shows it. I don't know how else you would do this. This is just more like a specific problem for me to have. Like, so let's just game capture it overall. Hopefully that won't hurt anything. We can just always keep this open so we can see what's happening in the thing. So let's play a couple more games. And also the audio doesn't seem to play in the background. Some of these prompts get stuck. What did I actually do? Or, you know what it doesn't do is it doesn't show you which one you're even on. Is that the one that I was... just using. I think I find that really annoying. Recently added Windows full screen, fixed board layouts, fixed other small bugs. What we were working on, the chess TV, watch GMs play live in chess, but like you can do that anyway. More options, challenge friends, animated pieces, small bug fixes. It has tremendous potential. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. Let's try. I'll be the 4th ever Steam review, unless there's more in the meantime that we're playing right now. New game puzzles. I really, you know what bothers me the most is just my own OCD tendency. I fucking hate the notation on the board. I don't want to see it. It feels like I'm cheating. Home cooked food is better than Domino's. What a hot take of the century. Wait, why is it 5 minutes? Oh, it's not. Okay, go ahead, do the little King's Indian shenanigans, or it's not actually King's Indian, but whatever. I still kind of do it. You're gonna come to find out some of these people are bots, but I guess they couldn't be because they couldn't be bots because you're still, well, if they are, then they're, you know, it's still counting for rating. But how do you turn that off? That is a necessary feature, dude. And the settings don't seem to be any different here. This is just like the base game settings. It seems like there should be another tab, but there's not. I guess maybe I can just change the pieces in the middle of the game. And if I do that, then it might, some of them might not have the notation, I would hope. Oh, man. What a dumb decision. I'm not saying you shouldn't have it. I'm saying you shouldn't force you to have it. Yeah, all these backgrounds are kind of cool. It's like you're actually playing a real board game against somebody somewhere else in the world. This kind of has a weird hazy quality to it, though. Or this dude just AFKing out. He's even slower than me. Oh, it's like the Heat fucking Mirage. You'll see a Mirage checkmate. The Mirage blunder. Ha ha ha. Onsen, basic. There must just be something I'm stupid and I'm missing. Like, how could they not let you do anything like this? Or maybe it's just bugging out. We're getting like a lag switch. 949. Oh, that's me, though. You could look at him. Wait, what happened? Oh, it just takes you to the game in case I'm playing like multiple at the same time. Playing a simul as a fucking low rank player. But you know what's weird is this one doesn't have the... This one, well, thanks to this guy for letting me actually try to mess with these things in the course of a game and not worry about time, because he's the one who's just soaking it up. Some of the board didn't have the notation on it, right on the outside. So how did that happen? This one's kind of cool, but it's kind of too dark. It says the guy who played on that Sodom and Gomorrah one in Ultra Chess. That was one of the coolest sets ever, actually. Even though it might not be all that functionally sound. I'm going to beat somebody because they AFK out. Speaking of bots, like you can't blame the game for that. Like, somehow I lag switched them out. But I don't think that has anything to do with it. Like, I don't think they would even know, right? Whether they're playing on here or not. Like, you know, they're just playing somebody on the chess. It's the same thing. And then Lichess is going to shut this down somehow, even though it only benefits them. And it is a free site anyway, so this is okay. I don't know what else to... I guess you could go to home and do all kinds of other things, but... I'll say in a micro sense, it's a missed opportunity, because if it was a little bit better presentation-wise, a little better in terms of settings, it could have really taken off. But instead... You know, it's good, it's got great potential, but you kind of gotta have a little bit of patience with it. Like, who wants to see these stupid little things on the board? Nobody wants to see that. Even as bad as I am at notation. Now, why did the stuff on the outside go away, though, right? Is that tied to only the wood one that has that, or is it just bugged out now? Yeah, so this one has it on the outside, which even that I don't mind, although you shouldn't be forced to see it. Let's just stick to this one. I'll still make a point every week to try to do a different kind of chess game. But this can be like a main thing that I play as far as just like playing on the chess equivalent. I could do a 30-minute game here. I've been kind of scared to since I got to 17 because I don't want to fuck it up, but I barely will have time in these episodes because they take an hour just for that alone when I'm doing like a 2-hour episode. So I should try to get to 16, 17 in rapid in the meantime. I did always like how Lichess separates it. Right, chess.com is like 30 minutes is the same rating as 10 minutes, so it kind of makes it feel stupid. It's very hard to measure what, the rating means then because it's so arbitrary. Because you see how much better I am when I have more time to think. But you might say that's true for everyone, but it definitely helps me more. Like, no matter how good I am, I'm always going to be slow, so I kind of feel like you have to, I don't know, you have to just account for that. So you could say it's inflated, but it's not inflated in a broad sense because, like that's the joke I made when I first started playing on Lichess. And I thought my inflation was bad because I live in the US, ha ha ha. Or my friend made a little, like, adjustment to that. I forgot what. Oh yeah, like there was some video with Magnus playing like a 2500, and then he's like, oh, and Lichess says, and I thought my matchmaking was bad because it's like a 300 rating difference. So here, what was I gonna do? I was gonna look at a browser page, which I don't even know how you can do that now. You do it here. Now, if I do that, you should see support Lichess. I am in a manner of speaking. You could just look at this, right? And you could just, understand what's going on based on this. So we're playing a 1474. I think it's important to me to be able to see that because whatever. So I can keep tabbing out. It's not a big deal, but you shouldn't have to do that. It seems so odd. How hard would it be to just put that in there? You're telling me that a game is capable of making me play a rated game on it, right? This game can play rated games on Lichess and affect my rating, right? I'm gaining or losing. These are meaningful games, and yet you can't show me that? It'd be one thing if you say, oh, it's hard to integrate like in such a way to impact a website like that, but it is already doing it. So I can affect the rating on the site, but I can't see the rating that I'm affecting. It's a very strange dynamic. So it's very fortunate that we get this guy to just AFK out. Clearly not some kind of bug or lag switch type capability because I obviously, yeah, see, I was playing Gary's mod to try to play chess, but that didn't even work. And like, there's all kind of weird things you can do. Even this angle, I'm not the biggest fan of. Really, this is not really how it chessboard looks like in real life if you're sitting above it, right? You would kind of be closer and it would be kind of more narrow of a view. You're not looking up from so high above it, or I don't know, from my experience, it doesn't usually look like that. Or I guess the last time I played when I was young, so obviously I would have been shorter, so I wouldn't have been this high up, but I wonder if this is music that's kind of a weird texture on the fire. I wonder if this is like some kind of what do you call it? I forgot what I was gonna say. I should look around and read all the flavor text in each of these environments and stuff, like get immersed in that. It's still better than Chess Ultra in that regard, though. The fact that, well, first of all, the player base will be much better, and it's not just about how many players there are. It's also about like how diverse it is. You'll have grandmasters on here that you can play. You'll have people of all skill levels. But what you won't, you get so bored, and this is what I mean. Like you get so bored in a game of chess that you're literally going around looking at a fucking grandfather clock and all this kind of shit. You're gonna jump out the window. Like, what is going on, dude? The game within the game. Yeah, I would put little Easter eggs and stuff all around. Everybody always does everything halfway, right? Like even when it's such a good idea, they fucked it up. And if this buries it for the long run, right? All these little things that I can tolerate, but that most people wouldn't, then it's just so weird. Like, you know how much money that IP is worth? Make a proper chess game that actually is active and you'll be a fucking billionaire because Like chess.com is worth so much. All it is chess. It's just a board game that, there's nothing unique about it. Why is it so hard to do something so simple right? Or like you have all these games coming out constantly. Like, wow, there's this new chess game coming out. Oh wow, is it gonna change the whole way it works? No, it's chess again for the millionth time. Like, why do we need so many versions of the same game? I might be the first person actually ever to stream this. I didn't even see a category for it. Or I think I saw one that maybe looked like it might be for the game, but it might be for something else. It had like maybe one follower. You should be allowed to put it any chess game in the chess category though. Or there was some drama between like Botez and Hikaru and stuff. Like he's playing chess, but she's doing it in just chatting, and some people got mad about that. Like, but chess is the kind of game that's pretty ubiquitous with that. Like you can always use it to like as a just chatting category, like how I play card games, but I talk about all kind of random shit. So I'm not really, fully focused on the card game, or it's not the 100% thing. So that's the closest to just chatting I would do, because I hate the idea of doing face cam and IRL streams and cult of personalities type stuff like that. So the alternative would be just to time out. You won the game. Okay, good. So we earned some of that rating back. That guy was like a 1400 rated player. And of course, if I want to analyze, I could just do that on the chess itself. And you might say like, oh, how can you analyze? But that's what I mean. Like this game should have its own internal analysis capability separate from Lichess, but all it's doing is transcribing the moves over. With the power of Lichess, you can play against millions of other players, grow your skills. Any bugs, feedbacks, enhancement requests below. Okay, let's actually do it. So, hello. I have enjoyed playing the game, but there are a few things I wish you would change. First of all, you should be able to remove the notation from inside the board if you want. Number two is, I won't mention the music because that's too mundane. Secondly, you should be able to see your Lichess ratings and stats within the game and not have to open a browser. In particular, seeing your opponent's rating is very important. Also, you should be able to analyze games within the game. And then what else? What was I complaining about? You can't get rid of notation. You can't, there aren't enough settings, mainly to do with some of those things. You should be able to see everything. You shouldn't have to open up the chess in a different tab. Some other, yeah, I'm literally bug testing it. Minor additions that could be useful are the ability to play the music in the background. So when you tab out, it doesn't stop. It also seems to be a bit too quiet, even at max volume. These are kind of nitpicks in a way. Let's see, what else do you have? Challenge friends, animated pieces, small bug fixes. Settings menu is kind of bare bone. So what was I looking for in the settings menu besides that? Just like the ability to turn off notation, I guess. Thanks for reading and keep up the good work. I'll also do that like in my Steam review. I assume that went through. Yeah, see, it even has bad feedback. I gave my feedback, but it didn't give me feedback as to whether, whether the feedback actually went through or not. But whatever, at least I have it on video. Mute next song. Yeah, it's too, it's minimalistic UI and all this, but it's too minimalistic because I don't think I'll even do a 30-minute game. Or you know what? I will. Let's overcome our fear and let's use this game to actually do it. This is literally fighting for staying at 1700 rating. haven't played a classical game in a super long time. And so basically, here it comes, dude. Can't hide from it. Beto 77. So how do you see that if you want to see it? Open, close, 2D board. What was I saying? Like, how do I see his rating if I want to? Couldn't you do that? Like, oh no, you could go here and then you could basically see it from there. So like, I'm in the middle of a game with the 1729. I should almost use it as a psychological thing, like as to not do that, like, so that wait, why is it doing that? He moved a random pawn there. I can go like this, try to do whatever safe opening that I would want. I mean, this is the point. Like, I would play on here rather than play on the chess because I like the 3D board. Like, it's just that simple. It's the same fucking thing. It's just like, I don't know. It's just a good thing to have the option to do. EUJZLNLT. Like, what even is that? It's like the game identity, I guess, in case you were... Okay, he's playing kind of weird. And I'm playing kind of too fast. Yeah, I don't have the mindset for 30-minute games anymore. I'm virtually unbeatable, I swear to God, if I really take my time. At least, unless you're like literally a professional player. Like some 2000 will come in and say, oh, haha, I can beat you. Like, okay, fine. But even then, I've drawn them. I won't say I've really beaten them too often, but it's still interesting. So if he pushes the knight out, I'm okay. If he takes, I can easily take back. He pushes out. And so now you're able to go back, basically. You got an angle where we can actually see the fireplace while we're doing this. You can't seem to go up and down. Oh, no, you kind of can, but... Let's see, that low textured fireplace. You hit there, I hit there. Kind of hard to say. This is not something I typically like to do, but I end up doing it a lot. He goes back to there. Then all we have to do is we have to figure a way to go here. Like, this will be kind of cool, though, because it does seem like a relatively small project, right? Like, whatever I'm hyping it up to be, it's not like a AAA studio or whatever. And so it's like, it'll end up being a case where... it'll end up being a case where you basically have the ability to... you know, some of my feedback might even get through and they might make certain changes. But then again, I don't know whether I can take credit for that or not, because obviously I'm sure other people are saying the same thing too. So if I take... What is going on? If I take, he takes. If he takes, I take. I mean, this is a classic bait play where the answer is just don't take. The light square bishop isn't doing much. Let's just go here. Try to get it to the point where it actually can do something. This is no threat to me at all. So we're in kind of a weird spot where if we left the pawn there was no way to cover it. And I kind of blame the knight for that a little bit. But you know, this seems bad, but your whole goal here would be to try to open this up, which you really can't even do. You try to do it like with this one then, I guess. So he would take, I would take. I want it to be like a little bit higher, but it's kind of hard sometimes to get this to happen. Bird's eye view, like we're playing Diablo or some shit. But at least you get to move around a lot more freely than games such as Ultra Chess, Chess Ultra. He moves the rook up. So now if I go here, he's in a bit of a pickle maybe, because he would take, I would take, he would take. I would take, he would take. What if I leave it there and then I keep going? No, but then he would have the knight. He would have the knight to take with as well. So I'm not even sure what I was trying to do with this. You could bring the knight in if I take there. If I take, he takes. It doesn't solve anything as far as trying to open up the light square bishop to this. I don't know what that pawn move actually did. Gives him an open file here, but I can easily take the open file back, so it doesn't really matter. Making moves as quick as like the one I just did is very questionable. So he can keep the double stack, but the knight also covers, so I don't see what the big deal of it is. I'm moving obviously way too fast. If he takes, I take. If he takes, I take. Even if the knight wasn't there, we still have the king there. You got to watch the queen's position. And watch, this will astronomically improve my level of play too, but I'll never use that as an excuse, obviously. Or you know what piece set I was using. That's the one thing we can't do, is use the custom piece sets that you can use on the chess. So the chess does have its greatest strength isn't the site itself, which is inflated and has maybe some player base issues compared to chess.com, but on a raw level, because it's free, because you can analyze for free, because it doesn't have as many stringent rules and restrictions, so you can use those custom piece sets that fans make and external stuff. And even a game like this that has integration with it, the point is all that stuff is not stuff that the site itself is doing, but it's simply not restricting or stopping people from doing the way that chess.com would do. So therefore it's getting credit for it. It's like modding, right? Some companies allow a game to mod more than others. And so, there's a sense that just simply allowing that is itself a good thing. It doesn't mean that they have to actually do it or they deserve a ton of credit for it. Is moving the king a bit. I don't see the special meaning in doing that. Could move this here, but then he could just take it. No, but he can't. He can't because of the simple fact that you're able to. He would take, I would take with the rook, he would take with the rook, I would take with the king. So now if we go here, obviously it's a fork. Maybe they'll be less likely to snipe me because I'm not. Or maybe for them it'll still show up that I'm streaming because I somehow tied the account together and stuff, but. Got this little cheeky threat on the queen here. There's not too many good places for the queen to go. In fact, there's almost nowhere for it to go. We're back to square one. You still can't take the knight. So now if I bring the bishop in, you'd be in a position where you basically have to consider the possibility of enabling the fork a little bit further. So if he takes, I take. If he doesn't take, I take. But the fork isn't going to happen because then he's going to move the king up even if I do take. I was looking forward to this actually. Just like I had just failed my chess.com challenge, so now I was kind of adrift and like I don't know what I want to play as far as chess. Like I'll still do it, but only once a week, and I kind of want it to be different every week. So we'll play it in like a different game. So we tried playing battle chess, we tried playing ultra chess, we tried playing Gary's mod, Roblox, all these kind of different ones, tabletop simulator, right? So this could be a similarly definitive thing. Now that's a big mistake if he takes because I get a fork. So you have to take with the king, which he's not as stupid as I think, I guess. We can still attack the thing. The problem with doing that is now you would take, I would take, you would take, I would take. So I don't want that. Even if it's not that bad, I don't want it. And the reason why I don't want it is because I don't want to give up the queen to do it. So now if you go back, I could fork. If you go there, it's not bad for you, but I'll still do it. So now if you take it, it's no big deal. And this is a very strong knight. This is a knight right in enemy territory in such a way that... Now there's some kind of a cheeky queen threat maybe that comes about as a result, but it actually doesn't because the queen would get taken by the thing, by the knight there. You could check here and like take a pawn, but this is kind of under threat, but it's not really under threat. Can't really do anything there. If I check with the thing, where do you go though? You go, I guess he has a lot of places he can go. Why don't I just come like here? Because he has no other pieces that can attack. This is a bit of a nightmare endgame, I guess you could say. Because there's really nothing happening. Can't take the knight. You can't take a pawn. You can't do anything. You couldn't have took that anyway. So maybe that was a superfluous king move. But I am the king of superfluous moves. So there's a lot of UI on the screen that maybe isn't super necessary, but you can always get rid of most of it. Chess is a game that just makes you wish you had more time to be able to play it, but then once you realize how boring and monotonous and tedious it can be too, it can be a little bit deflating that way too. Like, just, is it really worth doing? Because so much of it's borrowed knowledge type BS. So that his knight's going to come in. But the thing is, the knight can't go anywhere because it's just... You'd be threatening there. I can't even give the check that maybe I thought I could give. I don't really know what I'm doing with it. Okay, now is where the time really comes into play. Play the openings like fucking light speed, and then everything else will take care of itself, I guess. What could he do? Like, he's going to slip through and do something unexpected. My knight is in a very strong spot right in the face of the king. Obviously, octopus position. If he goes back, you got to do like some sort of very slow, long-winded attack here. And the knight is going to be public enemy number 1 here. He could put his in the similar octopus knight position. Not much I can really do about it, but the one thing I could do is I could prevent him from having like a really great threat. As a result, maybe he'll go to e6. See, this other knight I can't really figure out what it is that I'm trying to do with it. If I go to f8, he'll go to here. Then if I do anything, he'll be threatening the royal fork. If I go here, then he'll take there. So there's a lot of things going on. It almost makes me question the position of the knight overall, like where I want to move this instead. We bring it to like f6 and figure something out. The king is in this elevated, erect position that prevents the queen from coming in directly like there. So here, you would be able to check there. You would be able to take there. Right, so that's pretty clear. You can't really move anywhere else at all, though. So the knight's kind of telegraphing itself a bit. If I were to come here, going to e6, 100%. Right, and there's no way I can stop him from going to e6. If I just raise the queen, he goes there, I go there. Then he's there. Then he can't do anything with that. But then the queen, that's the problem, the queen. So I go there, and then the queen goes there. But then you can't because the knight comes. I think doing this is pretty reasonable. So if you go there, I can't take it. But I can cover that at least. I can go back. You can't come in there, but that's still scary because it could become a problem later in case I move the knight, which I was kind of intending to do. He's threatening there, so he'll be double threatening off the back of a check, which is a fascinating move. Very impressive. Because now... That is bizarre, actually. What the fuck? There's no other way to cover that pawn, so... Like, look at the shit that you have to deal with, but at least this is a 30-minute game, but he's moving so fast that it almost doesn't feel like it matters. If I go here, he goes here, and then it becomes a nightmare because he's going to be doing threefold repetition type shit too. The goal would be to try to cover this, but it's mathematically impossible to do that, so you just can't. See, this is at least a good earned sort of thing that he's doing here, where he's just able to... He's basically able to win something in a forced way that I can't do anything about. So it took to move 33 for him to do that. And you might not think it's that big of a deal, but it is the anchor pawn that covers all 4 of these, so you probably are going to lose because of it. If it was just a random pawn here or something that he's picking up, then it's not that big of a deal, but it would still ruin the structure, I guess, maybe, to split the pawns. Next level advanced tactics. But that's kind of what I hate, though, is because even when I know what he's going to do, right, I can't stop him from doing it. That's the thing. But even when he does something that's good and winning, I can see it, but I couldn't see it, I guess, ahead of time. You can keep giving checks over and over. The queen comes in like that. You pin it down. Now you're also doing this in such a way that you're able to basically able to, I don't know what's happening. The knight comes there, I could take it. The knight comes there, I could take it. The knight goes back, I could take it. The knight goes here, here. So you can take this. I can't do anything about it. I have to stay connected and cover the knight. Right, so you can have that pawn. I can't really do anything about it. Can't really give a check. You can't really force a take on the queen. If I move my own knight, this could create a good threat in the sense that you're able to basically give a check. It wouldn't be mate. You kind of dick him around a bit, I guess. Right, like you could at least force a threefold repetition with that, I would assume. If you come to there, then I could finish you off. If you come to there, then I could check there. And then that could be maybe made as well. So it's very scary if I simply move my knight in any form here. So we're both threatening a pawn that isn't covered. He would take there. I would take there. But the threat isn't from that. The threat is from what the queen is going to do. Kind of like the view of the fireplace, but it's hard to get it in the right angle, I guess. If we take here, he takes back. We gave up the threat because of how strong maybe this is what I'm doing, but the fact of the matter is I can just move this anywhere, right? And wherever I move it, we're still setting up for the same threat. And so what if I do it like this, basically to cover, you basically cover the pawn as well in case he does go for that double take. So now my threat is fairly obvious. Can he come in to block it? And the answer is he really can't come in to block it with the queen. And so he would have to do something with the one of the knights to stop this potential mate coming up. Comes to there, which reeks of desperation, but maybe I still can't do anything with it. Then my queen goes to f2. Obviously, you just take. If the knight comes, take, doesn't really matter. We could bring this back here. This is where I get just so aimless, though. I don't know what to do. It's a very strong knight position. I have plenty of time to think about it, but I just don't know what to do with it. The queen is free to roam, right? But there's nowhere for it to actually go. Damn it. Here's where you got to do some wild shit to try to, like, you know, needle him with the pawns or do something else, open some other way of attack. You got to think, like, what would be an ideal attack and what piece is obstructing me from doing it. But this knight is too valuable to move. So I just shouldn't move it at all. This knight could be okay. If I go back here, it's going to be a lot of back and forth bullshit that we're doing. Let's actually try it. If we get a threefold repetition, whatever, I don't care. It's a pretty even matchup, but I think I already kind of screwed up a little bit. What? Wait a second. I can't even go back, can I, in the thing? Wait a second. How does that happen if he couldn't have done it before? Why couldn't he do it before? Maybe he could, or no, because the queen was there. Whatever, dude. It's like, really, that is a good way to beat people, and I always do it too. Like, you almost bore them with the position. Like, obviously you can see that, but it's like you get so annoyed because nothing's happening and you're just going back and forth. You get impatient, or like you think something's gonna work and then it doesn't, so then you just get pissed. I mean, I could get a royal fork of my own, I guess. If I just don't ever move that knight, maybe something good could come of it. Let's see, how long is it going to take him to actually do something here? Problem is he has his own knight to leverage. Like, at least if it's an episode of 2 knights, 1 queen, you could make something happen with it, but this way he stops the thing from coming in. Right, so the queen can't come in at all on this row. So now he's going to start to target this with both the knight and the queen. But the easier way to do would just be try to trade the knight for the knight here. I mean, to do that in a 30-minute game is actually stunning to me. That's unbelievable. I can never learn my lesson. That chess is like a a very stale game, so you just have to deal with it. And I even like the longer time formats, but I can't bring myself sometimes to do it. Because, like, this is a dead draw position. There was nothing there for either of us. So I just give him something from nothing. So now what does that do? You go here, you go there. I don't know what we're trying to do with that. If there is something I can't figure out what it is, that's almost setting up to maybe trap it if I had something in the vicinity, especially the king maybe. But not really. Comes there, you can't take, can't do anything. I'm going to get too complacent even here, though. Look how annoying this position still is, though. Despite him being up by so much. He's going to come there. Or there. He's got really 2 moves to go to. He goes from here, he gives a check. I could try to counter that play at least, but I maybe still can't. Right, you get like another Octopus Knight basically here, but what does it even do? He'll come to here and he'll give a check. I could stop that from even happening, but it would also work in the sense that now the queen could try to come in there as well. Use this almost as a way to just block it here a bit. Be a little bit interesting. Right, like if I do this, he'll have to make some other drastic kind of move to make this happen. So now you can't do anything. If you give a check, I'll sort of self-pin, but I actually don't have to, but then I give a pass pawn. That I could easily take, so that's not a big deal to me. I don't get why it shows illegal moves like that. It almost makes it seem like it would be the sort of thing it would let you do like in shogi and just let you lose because of it. We're actually double attacking that, so I could actually just take it, right? But it wouldn't be worth it to take it because obviously you're going, or no, I could do it with this one, right? Because if you, then you could check. I mean, it's not a good move, and I know it's not a good move, but I'll still do it. Because now it opens up the check, and then that forces me to, like, self-pin, the way that I just talked about, and it allows him to win a pawn still. Or it allows him to just take the thing, period. Okay, I'm not going to play classical. Oh, fucking stupid. Is that really an instructive game when you just... I don't know. It happens every time, too. Like, I just always get irritated by the position. Alright, give me a fucking stupid stalemate. These all dramatic check noises. Again, he's not a bad player, but he didn't do anything to earn that win because you could just look at it in the analysis and see that... I'll have to tab out to do that. You would have to see that the simple fact is no fucking feedback or anything, dude. You give up a royal fork in a position that's, again, a dead draw. Why is he gotta ask that, like, after every fucking match? We should actually analyze these, though, just for the sake of it, right? So we have them in my database, or I keep closing that thing out, I guess. Where is it? Or I'm not even wait, how am I not logged in when I just... Oh, no, maybe it won't let me log in. So I could just say to analyze them some other time. So we lost to this guy. This guy just timed out. At least they're even matchups. But if you were to look... I mean, you kind of can analyze it off when you're not logged in anyway. But, like, what level... Okay, fine. What level do you think you really played at? And it's probably not too bad. Like, generally speaking, we're not in too bad of a spot, right? I can't imagine that this wouldn't still be a draw. You got to kind of learn from, like, what are you even trying to do here? And the answer is nobody seems to really know. It's not like he had some master plan or he did something crazy, right? He did win that one pawn seemingly, but then I came back with a threat that seemed like a mating option that was actually pretty good, right? That was like, oh, if he took the pawn, it could be really bad for him. You would think he's winning here by a little bit, but it's not enough to really do anything. As soon as he moves the queen, now all you have to do is watch out for that. You could have moved the king, you could have moved the queen, you could have done a lot. Just move it out of the check range. But then that makes me kind of uncomfortable. See, I'd be less inclined to still do that move, even in retrospect. Like, I'd probably go... The thing is... I mean, you could go there even, because even if you give the check, you can just keep going back and forth. You're just trying to stop him from giving the checks together. So, I mean, that is really weird. What is with those other weird faded color arrows? I don't remember seeing those. It still took him so long to do anything with that position. See, and I even almost did it to myself. Like, I didn't have to do exactly that. You know what? I'm kind of in the mood. Or no, you know what happened is I lost a lot because I lost a lot of rating because I fucking haven't played in so long. Who cares? I mean, I'm just playing for fun anyway. Which is why you play a 30-minute game, which is why you play chess of all games. The most fun game of all, am I right? People are studying fucking opening theory at 1200 rating and stuff. Wow. I mean, we'll come to find out that chess.com is more like real life ratings are inflated compared to that, like the opposite, where a 1200 on chess.com is like really a 1600 in FIDE, because I can't imagine some of these 1200 playing like that. And I never accuse people of cheating. I'm not like Magnus Carlsen, one of many things we don't have in common, but like, you might think, oh, that queue time's a bit too long, but it's actually fine because it's like 30-minute games are usually pretty slow to find anyway. So let's try to get some of that rating back. It'll be sort of boosted because we're sort of provisional now, just by the simple fact that you're able to basically not have played in a while, so then you can just do whatever with it. Like, you'll get a little bit of extra. That happens on chess.com as well. The biggest thing here, we have to figure out, where do we put the thing? Where do we put the bishop? And it's very hard to figure out, actually, sometimes. Maybe that's an answer. I don't like this position for it, but I think it's okay, maybe. Or yeah, they'll think, oh, you're somehow cheating because you have a tab of chess open, but that's to actually just use the features of the site that aren't allowed on here for whatever weird reason. I'm just playing it like way too fast too, but I mean, I took my time a little bit that last game. It's just like, what more can I really do here? I even identified, like, this is the stage of the game that I really got to think about it, and I got to really pay attention and focus, but then I just don't. We could try to do something in the sense of, you know, try to basically bring the bishop out to b2. You should definitely be able to turn off this shit. At least the stuff around the outside looks fine. This looks so ugly, right? The little black, whatever, base Times New Roman boring font that they chose too. This is your Ryan Gosling papyrus moment from the fucking Avatar. You could move the knights here a little bit. Don't allow him to pin anything down, which he's really not. This is kind of a weird spot though. Like, how do I guess there's not much pawn movement going on around there though, so you could basically do it like, bring this out and then try to figure a way to displace the thing, displace the bishop. If you go here, he takes, I take, he takes, I take. Or how do you do like an arrow if you want to do, I don't know if you can do all stuff like that. Of course, arrows are basically like cheating, but attacking there, so I'm happy with doing a play like this. He would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. We're also threatening there, so if he does take into all that, we also have this option potentially, but it's not the greatest option, I guess. And if he doesn't take, then I'm threatening there, so he almost feels obligated to take. And then once I do take, he could bring the knight in front, but aside from that, he would almost have to take because he's pinned down into the rook as well. I mean, that's fine with me because you're going to put yourself in a beautiful position because you realize that you didn't even do what you were supposed to do there. That's actually pretty good, isn't it? He didn't even take back. Like, what was the point of it? Takes with the queen, and then this would be only hindered by the thing, by the by the one pawn there. If I could figure a way to do that better. Bishop's position was actually okay, all things considered. You'll cover here, so like if I move the knight, something bad happens, but I don't really see what he's gonna do to cause me to move the knight. That's the thing. I could move the rook back to f1 if need be. Is this just like stock classical music or what? I mean, this is a game that they actually charge for when so many of these things are free. Like, why not just play on the chess for free? Ha ha ha. That's what people would say. They're charging you to play on the chess. Right? I'm trying to play devil's advocate now for like why people wouldn't like it, but at least if it was more feature complete, I could understand. Right? Because you're paying for the presentation and things like that. And I guess it would cost more normally because it was sort of on a little sale there, but it, let's see. Can't really do that. Let's just back this off. This d2 pawn is in a weird spot because I don't know what we're trying to do with it. We go like this, we go like this, we go like this, but you can't even really do that. You go like this, you go like this, you go like this. Then you have two base pawns, anchor pawns that I don't like to have. All this sort of fundamental wisdom that I come up with on my own. Like, I don't know if that's a real concept that like having two anchor pawns is bad and having one isn't. Like maybe for some positions, maybe there's going to be a transposition that makes it better later that turns into a pass pawn that promotes. Like, I don't fucking know, but on a base level, yes, it's better to have one anchor than two, which is why that v-shaped pawn structure is so good. Like, you go from this d2 to d3 to b3 to a4, like that's beautiful because you only have the one anchor to cover, so it makes it worth it to even cover it with just the one rook there. That's the only thing I was dissatisfied with in my whole improvisational thing, that I was trying to see how far I could go like on chess.com and stuff, and I guess I'm still kind of doing it here. It's like if I felt like I played at my full effort, right? Like I played the best I possibly could and then I still fail, that's fine, but it always felt like something was awkward, like somehow I could have done better, or I could have seen that, or like you can always just play better. There's never American Psycho line. You can always calculate harder, look better, or you can, what does he say? You can always look thinner, look better, something like that, when he's being all vain and superficial. So that's what I mean. Like there's never a ceiling that you can say like, oh, this is the limit you can get to without studying. But it becomes kind of a moot point because the real challenge is like, okay, you can study as much as you want and then see how far you can get. Which there's arguably no limit to that either. You would just need to live like forever, or have as much patience and time as anybody else. Like study as much as a GM and you'll be a GM. Like, fuck it. But the problem with that analysis is like there might be studying, playing 5-10 hours a day, so like you're not going to do that, you know what I mean? Like no normal person is going to want to do that. No normal person is going to be able to do that. So like how are you going to justify it? That's why it's one of the purest things that people did out of pure passion, because you never made that much money for it historically until this Twitch craze or whatever weird, you know, thing that's going on with it. But like you never made much money playing chess, so people must have done it out of pure love and passion for the game, which is why I found it so sort of insulting what's happened the last couple of years. But I guess you got to follow the money. And what's sad about it too is I almost deferred to the game. Like, okay, when I was young, I wasn't good enough. Okay, so I chose not to play. Like, I'll leave that to people who are really good, right? Innately. But then I realize now how wrong I was. Like, you can't say it like that because you have to if you wanted to be one of those really good players, then just study the game like crazy, and then you'll be one too. So I didn't give myself that chance because I thought, oh, I'm just not innately good enough. So therefore, why even bother trying? And I was okay with that even. Right? I would have been willing to accept that. It's just a question of being able to, like, can you, I could have actually just took that too. Right? I could have just, I would take, he would take, I would take, but then he would take there, I guess would have been the point. We could also take here. Right, so if I do that, then he'd be able to not really do anything. It does. Oh! Wow, 2 classical games in a row I do that. What the fuck am I doing? Wow. I'm not blaming like the 3D board or anything like that. I'm just a fucking clown, obviously, as you saw from my last series. You have to get yourself back in the mindset of patience to be able to actually do this, which of course I'm obviously not in that mindset at all. Or is the same bad habit like the lazy gambit where you expect it to be too easy, so it's not, then you try to force things or you try to do too much, or you underestimate them like, oh yeah, you just left a pawn hanging. But obviously nobody ever does anything wrong because they're just all so good, because that's what it means to be like fucking sub 2000 rating. Yeah, generally it's pretty good. I just don't know what to make of it, really. We played our first 2 classical games in a long time, like since basically July 1st when I returned to chess.com, off the back of even getting to 7. Like that was kind of an unlock condition. I had failed my previous chess.com challenge, so in order to reactivate the site, I had to get at least to 1700 on the chess in the 6 months exile that I have to undergo. So basically, I barely did it in time. And then I did succeed my first little step of the challenge. It was basically like July 1st to September 1st, I have to get to 13. Then by November 1st, I have to get to 14. Then by January 1st, I have to get to 15. So I got to 13, then I got to 1350, and then I fell below. So I still had plenty of time. Like I would still have time now. It's still not November 1st. So why aren't I still doing it? Because I got to 1350 pretty quickly, and then I lost like a whole bunch in a row and fell below 13. So I always have that 50 point threshold. Like if I, like right now, for example, I got to 17. No, I got to 1650. So if I fall below 16, then I have to delete my account. Or if I was to have gotten to 1750, then I fall below 17, I have to delete my account. So that'll still be true even here, even though I'm not really doing like a specific format or anything crazy with this, with LeChess. It's just like, I'm already like gonna be 1650 right now. That would be kind of sad. Then I wouldn't even be able to play something like this or LeChess, which is my backup site. I'll have to play on ICC, Internet Chess Club or something. That's 2 queen blunders in back-to-back classical games. Now, you know me that I never blunder my queen pretty much, period, in any game, let alone in classical. So, like, I don't know what to say about that. I think I'll do one more just for the principle of it, but I'm not really too sure about this. And of course, you're going to be losing jacked out amounts, but you would also be gaining them if you won. Or I don't know how much the provisional basis would affect draws. Like you'll gain 5 from a draw or lose 5 from a draw, or you would normally just gain or lose 1 or 0 or whatever. But that's the whole fun of chess at the grandmaster level, I'm sure. It's like, wow, you drew Magnus Carlsen, so you still gain like fucking whatever crazy amount of rating because he's so much higher than you or whatever. So that's already kind of a bad idea. Because like, okay, you would take, I would take, you would take, I would take, or something, I don't know. Even if you were to let me do this, double take, I wouldn't have been able to, but even if you did let me, it wouldn't have done anything because, you'd still be winning. Look how ridiculously fast I played too, and I'm not gonna say that that's why even I did so badly. It's just more like it doesn't matter because you just have to actually use your time, like no matter what. Even if I lose, okay, I'll lose on time then. And 30 minutes is still short for classical. People doing like if you actually play professional, you'll have like 90-minute games or all these kind of crazy things where you gain more after X number of moves. Or I don't even know exactly how it works, but it's like not very good. Or I mean, it's even slower than this. I should be the best correspondence player ever because even though I'm impatient, I obviously get substantially better the more time I have to think about it. But there's like some weird consideration for correspondence where you're almost allowed to use the engine and stuff, or somehow, I don't know, but it doesn't mean he just trapped his bishop, but it still wouldn't even matter. Right? Even with that, you still win the game. That's the sad part about it. It's like, what is he up now? This game isn't going to calculate the plus advantage as much, but he's up by... Wait. You badly don't want to do that, but I guess you don't have a choice. Or what you'll end up doing is basically back ranking my dumbass. Right? Because I could just let him take. Let him take. I take. He checks. He takes something else. What's going to end up happening is basically... he'll just take there and save the bishop too. Just take. Okay. Problem is there's too many things to move around, so you're never going to get a stalemate, but you shouldn't expect to get one in a 30-minute game. To see what 30-minute games do is they make you actually play the game for real. Like, don't just speed run through something when you don't even know what you're doing. Like it's trying to speed run a first playthrough, playing all these flashy blitz formats and stuff like that. If you're going to play a game as boring and monotonous and tedious as chess, then you may as well do it the right way, which is just to actually take your time. And so what it does is it removes, even at the low level. See, that's what I don't like. Is like low level players will blunder their queen, or they'll, you know, they'll make a mistake and it'll be like, oh, I'm just not good. But like, if you had time to think about it, you would have seen that. So it removes all the basic stuff like that. You're not going to see stalemates. You're not going to see queen blunders. And so you'll just play a more normal, proper game. Not because the opponents are any better magically, but because they had more time to actually think about it. That's the only difference. And I'm sure there might be limits to that, or arguably the limits are just the limits of time. Like, if they had even more time to think about it, they would have played even better. But basically, it's kind of insulting to their intelligence to say, like, oh, yeah, play a bullet game and try to, you know, show off how fast you are at a game that you don't even know how to play yet, that is so much based in borrowed knowledge and stuff. I think I'll do one more, and so let's see what our rating is actually falling to, probably 1650, because we're losing like 20 per game here. Good thing they at least put the link there, my god. We can obviously analyze these games later. It's not like I'm going to play that much on here anyway. That guy was 1577, right? So the provisional thing might even be giving me easier matchups, but maybe not. Yeah, that guy was like 100 less, but again, I'm blundering my queen, so I don't know what to say. Get rid of that. Let's do one more classical game, and then maybe I could do a couple, I could do like a couple rapid games to end off, or well, let's see how we do here. I guess I'm so bad that, I don't like my effort. See, that's the only thing. You really think I'm so bad that, oh, I'm going to blunder my queen? I mean, I'm even saying how, like, nobody is that bad. It could be your first game ever. All you have to do is take your time and look at it and think about it. So there is like a lack of interest that I have, which is hardly an excuse. It's just more like, I guess I don't like chess as much as I thought that I would fucking study it for years or do what it took to actually get far enough with it. Which I'll still do it, but I'll do it kind of either off stream or at my own pace or whatever. But it's just not as important to me as I guess it has to be. Or that's like the sad equalizing factor that it's like, I wouldn't have to study if other people didn't study. But now, like, when you have these 1500s who are like hardcore study tryhards, you have to. Not because they're innately better than you, but because they're not, because they studied first. So you have to equalize the studying, and then, right, whoever's better at that point is going to really shine. But it is an interesting dynamic. Like, you were playing this like it's a blitz game or something. Like, what is the deal, dude? I guess we know opening so well that we want to show off, but obviously at least I don't. So you'd rather save the bishop than try to do this inevitable pin and trade that I often do. But he castles. I could go here, but then you go like that, and I can't take. It does make me wonder, like, what to do with the knight. I guess you could do it here and then not worry about the fact that you have, don't worry about the thing. The most important thing with a game like chess is you have to enjoy it to be able to play it for a long period of time. So even all these little logical razors and pieces of wisdom that people have, it's like it's all meaningless because you'll get so bogged down and burnt out by that repetitive sort of zero-sum nature of how people look at it that you won't even enjoy playing the game, so then you'll stop. So that's like where my long-form tendency comes into play. People might be better than me even in a short period of time, but I'll do it for so long that you'll never be better than me because, I'll stand the test of time. So I'll find a way to make it enjoyable, whether it be play with my Star Wars piece set, or it's not even that I can't use the chess now. I'm almost tempted to use some of those custom sets, or I guess I should see whether they even work or not. I guess something might have changed with it. I should look at it after this. Maybe I'll play a couple rapid games on there directly. I am using display capture anyway, so it doesn't matter, just so I can see the fucking stats on there, because you can't see them on here. So please just don't blunder my queen, and I'm fine with it. Comes there, I could simply take it. Yeah, look how I'm psyching him out with my confidence. Look, I've only used 30 seconds, like as if it really even matters. You go to here, go to there. Of course, not only is it an inflated site, at least compared to chess.com in terms of rapid and other considerations, but there's also the simple fact that you're able to, it's not as popular of a format, period, right? People just don't play classical as much on websites because they feel like people are cheating or whatever, especially the top players, the better players. So that allows even a clown like me to be like top 6,000 in the world. It's like ultimate, just the ultimate way to sort of game the system and inflate your rating as much as possible, basically. Puts it down to there. I should probably move the king at some point just so I'm able to not have to worry about move the king so you don't have to worry about the fact of being pinned down by that. But if you move it here, then you can take there. So I should go here, but then you can take there. Then I can raise it, but then I don't know. Seems kind of awkward. We can go like this, go like this. That should be the main priority. You shouldn't try to push anything like, oh, take, whatever. You should try to actually block off the diagonal that he's worked so hard to get there with the light square bishop. Yeah, I guess this is sort of like the game code that they have going on. So maybe you can analyze it within here somehow after the game. But the way it ends, it just seems like, oh, it's just over. So whatever. Yeah, see, this is the beauty of a game like this. Like, how would it show up on Steam charts or something? I'm actually curious. Like, let me look. Or I'll do that after. I'll check out the website itself and then Steam charts. I just want to see if I can use my custom piece sets and whatnot. Of course, you can't do on here, but theoretically, you could do if you just... Or see, I'll block my own diagonal, though, if I do that. That's the problem. If I go here, he would take, I would take, he would take, I would take, he would still take. At least for now, let's do that, and then maybe I can figure out something better later. Or you know what I could have done is I could have took... No, I can't. If I take the knight with the bishop, he'll still take it back, and then he doesn't have to open the king. Yeah, generally it's enjoyable. There are some little oddities they could try to fix up, but it gives me basically what I was always asking for, again, for many years, I even said like, "Oh, just let me," my whole chess experience online. I always wanted to use 3D pieces, but they wouldn't let me, or these sites don't have very good ones. And again, all the games that do have them don't have a good player base. So it answers that. It's almost like you ask enough, and the universe will listen. They'll give it to you. It's not like they know who I am or they're doing it for me, but just like as a general standard, it is pretty good to keep bitching about something and eventually you'll get it. So this is covered too much. You come here, he takes, I take. I mean, you could do it. It's just awkward. I gotta know what it does for me. So you would take, I would take, you would take. That allows me to at least preserve my diagonal, right? Because you would take, but then I would still take. If not, then your diagonal is blocked, but mine isn't. So that's kind of still giving me basically what I wanted. This is kind of weird, but I guess it's okay. Yeah, this is the main problem that chess players have, maybe at a low level, is they're too lazy to really try. It's not a question of being good or not innately, right? It's the opposite. Like everybody is bad, okay? Just nobody knows what they're doing. You have to really take the effort every time, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, who cares?" or "It's just a board game," or whatever. That's the problem. Like to take that extra effort is sometimes what separates somebody who seems very good naturally from somebody who's not. They might have the same knowledge or lack thereof, but it doesn't matter because you can. Okay, that's actually very good for me. Yeah, I have a nice diagonal going towards the king. He doesn't have jack shit. And then I just have to. I could even dick around with the pawns a bit more, I guess, because I feel like you wouldn't have to worry about the diagonal sort of beaming down on you. So that was a big loss for him. He arguably didn't even have to do that, but or maybe he did, but at least he could have let me initiate the trade. This makes it a little bit too comfortable for me. I could just kind of slip back and do this. You could try to block off the thing, but I don't think it's going to be too good here. I should try to do something with the... I should try to do something here with the darks for bishop, I guess, but I really can't. Or we could do something with a pawn. I could do like this. So then if he takes, I take. Then he moves that. Like this is good because if he raises, I would take. He would take. I would take. Right. So if he raises, it doesn't do him any good. Right. He would raise. I would take. He would take. I would still take. If he doesn't raise, he takes. I take. Then you're going to be sort of unleashing into attack on the queen, but it shouldn't matter because whatever he attacks with the knight isn't really seemingly too consequential right now. That music is extremely quiet, so maybe I should not even... Yeah, like it's only going to there. Maybe I should lower it even more. Yeah, I can barely hear it myself. It's not like just do that. Like how loud could it possibly be? Yeah, even that's probably pretty low. This is the first game maybe I've ever done that with or had to do that with. Let's go like minus 10 or something. I don't know. It's hard to tell really how it's going to be on stream. Yeah, everything's maxed out apparently. Like, you could say, oh, it's meant to be quiet because it's chess, but okay, take it with the thing. This is a good knight position, arguably an octopus knight. And the reason why is because even if you come here, I would take. So the only thing I hope is when I win this game, I'll get a lot of rating back too, because these are provisional boosted kind of things. You can move the knight. I'm not going to blunder the queen again. That's the best reason to try to trade queens early. On one hand, you can't blunder a queen if you don't have one. This is good advice for bad players. And also, your opponent can't mate you with a queen if they don't have one. And also, it's just, you're going to play defensively because you're a clown like me and you don't know what you're doing. You don't have the initiative to try to attack either. So, a lot of good reasons to do that. So arguably, okay, that's fine. I just got to figure, where do I want the queen to even go? And there's not too many good places for it to go, to be fair. Even if you go like e7, he'll come there. I could block it with that, but that's kind of awkward. I could block it with that too, though, actually. Not really a big deal. You attack it with that. I block it with the bishop. I could try to double take on there. The knight is in reasonably good spot. It's also covered by the queen here, so he would take, I would take. Stop the pawns from being undone. This could be a good move here if he goes to like d6 here. See, at this pace that I'm playing, though, how would you ever expect me to... It's not that I can't see it. I did just see it. And I have this ongoing trope of always, like... I see stuff as soon as I do it, basically. Or, like, I'll make my move and then I'll see what I should have done. So my post-move calculation is my post-move clarity. Totally playing off another term that is maybe not appropriate to say. My post-wood quality of moving the wooden piece. The whole idea here is he should go to d6, and if he's sniping me, somehow it'll be showing that I'm streaming on the chess, even though I am... Would it do that? Because I'm technically logged in and I'm technically playing. Like, could somebody spectate me on the website itself? Because this is a real game that's happening. It's not like... This should be acceptable, and the reason why is because... And you'd have this thing to do too. So what if... What did he just do? Wouldn't it be better to do that first, maybe? Because then he would have to address it, and then I'd still be able to take. The risky thing, but I'll do it, because now you're opening yourself up to the possibility of doing, of taking the rook. So he'd be very inclined to... He'd be very inclined to take the bishop first, and he would have to also have to open the king to be able to do it. And then at that stage, we should be able to take the knight. The only way this would be good for him is if he could like give a check with the knight or do some crazy threat with the knight that's going to be like taking the queen. There is really no such threat as far as I can see, but my king, there is no such threat like the Lord of the Rings thing. I hate what they did to Saruman in those movies though, because he stays alive till the very end of the story, and he even burns the Shire at the very end. And so not only did they take that out, but they kill him off like way earlier on the tower when his little henchman, you know, stabs him in the back. Like, that's completely not from the book at all. It's one thing, like, okay, you can take liberties, or you don't have to show every little scene from the book, but you can't just completely reinvent the wheel, and, like, that's wildly different. I don't even understand how they did that. This is beautiful. Sets up for maybe some kind of cheeky check there. And so we're in a reasonable spot here, I think. It's hard to even determine your piece advantage here. Like, it's showing me like what I've taken, but not what they've taken. I don't really get it. But like right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns. We both have 2 rooks. We both have a bishop. So I'm not even up by anything. But it just feels like I am because his king is more vulnerable and the pawns are open around the king. Let's see how crazy this music is. It probably shouldn't be that bad. This is the quietest music I've ever seen. And I play Magic the Gathering, or I play... What's the other one that I always say is like that? I can't remember. I'm up on time. I'm not really up on material. So the only trick here is just don't blunder the queen. Because I've been doing that in these classical games. Surprisingly, both games were like that. The first game especially was a drawish position. Maybe the second one he was in a little better position. But again, you're not going to win with a little better position, especially when you don't know what you're doing. And so it's going to translate to a draw or something stupid anyway, or he'll just make a mistake. You'd probably like go d7 and try to just dominate this part of the thing. But maybe he can't even do that. Then he could double stack. I can't take it. That might be one of the better moves you can make here. Gotta watch out for the little Darksphere Bishop. I'm not really doing much with my own Darksphere Bishop. I can't really go there. He could double take. I could go... There's 18 minutes left. The UI and everything is fine, but they definitely need more options and fine-tuning. Maybe I'm expecting too much. They should call themselves an early access game, which I don't think it was considered that, to stave off any sort of criticism, because that's always what these games do. Like, yeah, it'll be an early access for like 5 years, so you can't criticize it. Oh, it's a work in progress, even though you paid money for it and you expect you know, like a finished product. So there's a lot of abuse of that. I can't think of what the most egregious example is, but like the forest was like that. Maybe it even still is considered like for 5 years it was playable, but it was still considered, oh, it's early access, oh, it's beta, it's something something. Yeah, that's my biggest weakness though, is like it's not that I'm not able to see stuff, it's that I don't look. That I'm just too lazy or I don't feel like it should be necessary. So in that sense, I got humbled by whatever my expectation was of lower rated players. Like I didn't think that any of that should be pertinent because they're low rated. So why should I have to think too hard? But so you'd probably want to stay here. You're targeting an uncovered pawn. You're also covering this little dinky piece. You're also threatening that. You're also threatening this. You could raise it and I could simply oh, that would be good. He could raise it and then that would allow him to like raise. I would take, he would take. No, it wouldn't matter though because it would still be a trade. You could go here, I guess. He would raise, I would take, he would take, and then I could just move somewhere. We're also targeting the pawn there next to the king. Or this would have been a good move, also b4, because you know you're targeting with the bishop. You're there. You're targeting that. You're targeting that. If he raises, I could take, I guess, a little bit even easier than otherwise. But or like it would have ended with me there. I would take, he would take, and then I would take there. Or even, yeah, I would have to take with the queen then. This is the kind of way that the next GMs of the future are going to be doing it. They'll be full-time streamers and they'll be playing in this kind of thing. A 3D board online. Like, it's the same game. As much as I'm an elitist and respect meritocracy, I also don't go for superficial stuff. Like, I don't really care how you do it, right? If you're doing it here, if you enjoy this more, like, as long as you get the results, it doesn't make any difference. And sometimes that sort of superficial stuff can even help you. Like, it'll allow you to basically put yourself in a position to not get burnt out. A little bit of variety of piece sets and this and that. So this could be interesting, but it's almost a futile gesture because what you're really going to do is you're going to put yourself in a spot where he's going to do the same. He's going to bring a rook behind. So it's going to be all pointless, but none of it's that big of a deal because it's just a case where you have enough cover no matter what, so it doesn't matter really. Look how casually I'm playing. Like, I have plenty of time. And so I'm a very big hypocrite. Like, I always say, oh, 30-minute games are the most instructive. Also, I lose with 25 minutes left on the clock. So doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means I'm stupid or I can't live up to my own expectation or standard. Like a good old opposite interpretation fallacy. Like somebody who's an alcoholic tells you how bad liquor is. And it's like, well, who are you to say that? You're a hypocrite. You still drink it. But on the flip side, you could say, no, that makes them an expert. Like they would know better than anyone else just how bad it is because of how much of it they consume. So does it make them more credible or less credible? It arguably does neither. You can be objective and say like, oh, you know, the air is polluted, but then you still breathe it. Ha ha ha. Like, yeah, no shit, you have to, but like, doesn't mean you can't still acknowledge that there's something wrong with it. Like the old analogy I used of the fish calling the sea polluted. Like, you're a fish and you're taking issue with the water, but how can you do that? Because that's where you live and that's how, you know, you need it to survive. So how could you dare criticize it? Well, because it doesn't mean it's perfect. It doesn't make you a hypocrite. It doesn't make you, or it could, but it doesn't mean that, you know, you can be a hypocrite, but that doesn't mean that you're, I can't resist that. Like, I just have to do it. I might lose because of it, but it seems unlikely that you should. There shouldn't be anything really crazy that happens as a result. There This is targeted. Could do, I'm just kind of giving him too much free reign to do whatever he wants. This is what I mean. Like, was that queen trade really optimal for me? It probably wasn't. Or at least you would assume as you get to higher ranks and stuff, when people are better, it's like they wouldn't offer that unless it benefited them somehow. So it must not be good for me. Then again, given my style of play, it always is good for me. Or it helps him sort of conserve time as I'm about to flag him with 10-minute advantage, clearly. Go here, he gives a check. Doesn't really matter too much. I gotta figure a way to use my darks for bishop, actually, but I can't figure it out. Right, like this pawn is kind of irritating me because I don't know. See, at this point, I just start to do random stuff because there's nothing really that interests me too much about this position. It's so easy to get these kind of stale positions, but I just have to become more of an expert at converting them, which I was doing pretty well for a while, actually. Like, I could get a draw seemingly whenever I wanted. So that's almost how you should play chess. You shouldn't play for wins. You should play for draws. You might think that's wrong, but it really isn't, because assuming your opponent is half decent, you're not going to be able to pull a fast one or do something crazy on them, and you're not going to be good enough to do that either at this stage. So, like, why does it even matter? Right, like octopus bishop here, even though it's too much in the corner to be effective. Like, your opponent's not going to fall for anything easy, and if you could see something that wasn't easy, then you wouldn't be bad. So that's the ultimate internal logic, right? You're not a good player, you don't know what you're doing, because you're only 1500 rating or sub 15 or whatever, sub 2000. So because you don't know what you're doing, you assume that your opponent's at least good enough or not so bad that they would allow you to do any of the dumb stuff that you come up with. So why even bother trying it? So nothing you do is going to work. Theatricality and deception are powerful agents, but you don't know how to use them yourself. So how are you gonna, you fall for some dumb opening trap? Like, this is the kind of stuff that it comes down to, which is so uninstructive and unfun, because it's just one of those things, like, either you know it or you don't. You can get this position in every game you ever play of your life, so just do it. And that's chess in a nutshell, I guess. It's probably worth it so we don't have to worry about the dinky pawn stuff as much. But he does have a choice. Like, he doesn't have to take it. So this is kind of a great spot for the bishop, though, to be in. Maybe that would have been even better, too. You should have just left it, but I am a bit of a trade fiend. You'd make an emote like that, like some sort of shifty salesman who's, like, offering you a trade somehow of a piece. Go ahead, you take it there. Even though I'm doubting, like, oh, that might be bad for me, but I'm still doing it. It just doesn't seem possible. Like, how does he convert this into a win? It's literally impossible to do it. You cannot win this game. It can't be done. It cannot be done. And see, I can't blunder my queen this time because the game's already over. Or, I mean, the queen's already gone. I mean, at least I'm apparently faster than some of these people, but you better give me like 20 plus rating that I lost here, because this is a bit of a clown show. I guess I didn't even really have to take, but give a check, but so what? Like, what are you going to do, dude? Nothing you can do. 11 minutes left to just kind of dick around and probably end up with the draw anyway, but maybe not. Clearly, he'll start to sweat now. That was one of the funniest moments when playing chess. Like, people are like, dude, why are you panicking about time? You have like 10 minutes left. But yeah, I started with 30, so that's why I'm panicking. I should have more. This is all good. You really don't even have to do anything, but it does become a little bit annoying because, like, I don't know what to do. If he brings his king in really effectively, that could be very good for him, but I don't know if he's going to even try to do that. Just don't blunder a pawn. See, I'm already thinking about the time too much, though. I have such a major time advantage that clearly The problem is I have to actually use it though. See, that's the thing. Oh, I'm up 10 minutes, 12 minutes, but if I win the game, or you know what I mean? Like if I'm gonna stay at 23 minutes, how does it help me in any way? You have to actually use your time. You can justify it like, oh, I won anyway, so it doesn't matter if I used it, but it's a good habit to get into. Like, how does it hurt you aside from boring the shit out of you? Of course, this is the average chess player's house too. There's some millionaire of the past. Why is it called the Game of Kings? Because you would have to be a king to be able to have the time and resources and, you know, freedom to be able to play it. Everybody else has actually a job or a life that they have to live and not just play a board game all the goddamn time. That's the appropriate old school title for it, right? Only royalty and people like that would play it. Or, I mean, they'd be known for playing it, like. But then in the modern era, people do have enough time somehow to go out of their way and do it. Like this dude who moonlights as a chess grandmaster, the Luke McShane dude. Ten minutes left. Because King's in a very interesting spot, right? And this could go badly because what he's done is he's restricted the move. No, but it ultimately doesn't matter because you can't do anything, right? Like your king can't move, you can't move. What would the thing be like? This all looks good. The problem is I'm gonna have to start moving my king now. Or no, I guess I don't know. I could keep moving. You got to just find a move that you can keep doing back and forth over and over. And by I mean you got to. It means if you're like me and degenerate, you have to because you want to draw the game. But if he goes here, then I go here, then he takes. So I have to find. No, but even if he did that, I could go here. So we're setting up for a threefold repetition, which he should be happy to take, considering that I have such a major time advantage on him. But again, he didn't make any super obvious mistake. I didn't make a super obvious mistake. So you get into this funnel point of just. It is a very drawable game. I mean, of course, you can't. Oh, that's a very good move, actually. Because if you take, then he's going to get a passed pawn. And then if you don't take, he's going to. If you don't take, he's going to take the one pawn there. So you would think I should be able to deal with the one pawn. Because if I calculate this out, I go there. He goes there, like his king is no, but it's a false thing because his king can't do anything, right? His king can't move up. I mean, I'm probably gonna lose, but as far as I can tell, his king can't actually move up into the game. But then if he does something, if he like does this, then I'll be tempted to do that. Like I should still be able to stop it, but I don't know what I'm doing. He won't win because of this, but he'll win because of something else that comes as a result of it. I don't care, dude. I'll just delete my chess account too. Fuck it. I'm gonna fail a challenge when I'm not even technically playing on the chess. If you go here, you should be fine. Like, forget about it, dude. He's got to push like something else, and then it'll turn into a very good thing. I feel like I walk into positions like this that I know aren't good, but I just hate like these stages of the game. Like, who cares about that? Like, this is trash. What do you want? I mean, to study endgames or something dumb? Like, it's just not. Or wait, I could have just. He wasn't really winning at all. Or that was a very good move though, where he attacks the rook and the thing. The rook and the pawn together. So my king can just kind of stay and, you know, deflect these pawns for a bit. I could be fine, but it could be very difficult to do that. So, in fact, I can't even do anything. Right, because yeah, you can't even get within range of it. Like, at least this was more of a legitimate victory. I should actually analyze these, but I just don't even really care. I was in maybe a good rhythm for a while there where I wasn't doing stuff like that as much, maybe. Like where I'm just trading for the sake of trading, or I'm just kind of impatient with it. Like I gave him 20-minute time odds or like 14-minute time odds, so clearly I'm better. It's always like one pivotal move too that I even know, like, oh, I know this move is gonna be a big deal, or some position like one stuff is off the board, but then I don't take the time to actually look at it. Come on, give me a stalemate just out of a pure sense of honor here, because this is very annoying. That's the real problem. It's not that, oh, I've lost my touch and I can't play classical, because the whole point of it is you're calculating. Like, you don't have to be good to even do it. It's just more like, let's see, what rating actually was that guy anyway? You know, it's an effort thing. Like, if you just want to take your time, you can do it. 1636. Wait, how did I lose that much? We might actually just, yeah, fuck it. We'll just keep playing these and just delete my account. How did I lose that much if I've only played 3 games, right? So I lost 22 plus 28 is like 50, 56. Or wait, huh? That almost doesn't seem to add up. How did I lose that much? I lost 64? Something's not right with this math, actually. It's bugging out. This is 30, 40, 50, 66. Or no, I guess it is, right? I mean, it's not like I'm blaming the game for this, but maybe I should watch myself. There's always how you go on bad streaks. Or what did I want to do, actually? I wanted to look and see if some of my custom piece sets were working. Yeah, see, that's how you speedrun and lose 70 rating just because you're not really in the mood. Or, I mean, it's not like I play that regularly anymore either. Okay, so let's analyze these games. I'll do a little review of it, and then I'll do just to show, okay, my Star Wars piece set does work. Although the old one that was working was kind of not working, right? It used to be this, like, stylish. Now it's stylus that you have to use. And I don't have nearly as many on here, but maybe I just didn't bother to add them. So maybe it's kind of not the way I liked it, but I do really like some of these sets. The problem with this one, of course, is each side is different, so it's a little bit harder to keep track of. Like, at least if they're all the same on both sides, then it's not that hard to figure out. So what did I want to do? Oh yeah, let's analyze those games, since you obviously can't do it on there. So just everything, even, not just, or whatever. As long as we have it in the database, it doesn't mean I actually, wait, 1 week ago. Oh no, I was kind of doing that while playing other chess games just in the background in case we were waiting for a match, like with Tabletop Simulator or with Gary's mod or whatever else. But how could that be a week ago? Wasn't I playing Roblox chess last week? That doesn't even make sense. Let's see. Computer analysis, request computer analysis. Let's see what kind of level these were played at. We played 5 games. I guess I'll do, I kind of want to do another classical one just to show that I'm capable of winning one, but the rule is I do have to delete it. But I could always just, actually, I wouldn't be allowed to play this game then. I could just not play any more classical games. That would be fine. It's a little bit confusing though. Oh, and now this is going to take forever. But yeah, why wouldn't they have a, okay, I'll write my review while I wait for this for like an hour. Very good idea to combine 3D pieces and environments with a very active player base. Still a little rough around the edges with lack of customization options, and mainly the lack of any ability to see chess ratings or analysis within the game itself. I look forward to seeing the improvements for this very ambitious project. Let's give it, how do you like? You recommend, oh, you can't give like a star rating, like 4 stars public. Check the box if you receive it for free. No. What if the game is free though? Naturally. Allow comment, sure. I should start doing this for more games, right? I'll do that could be our whatever Wednesday thing tomorrow. I'll just review every game I have on Steam. So let's see where that appears and stuff. I normally don't do this, but since it is so new, not ready for prime time, runs terrible on good hardware. Okay, that I didn't see as an issue. Needs a UI update, can't find settings. Okay, that's fair. Restarts and changing the board. Why is there no way to play offline? Or supposedly it even said there is. I can see past these issues, but 15 minutes of a game it crashed. Okay, I didn't have any performance issues just from my personal experience, but will it even show mine? Only played quick games. The good I've been following, most helpful, all, uh, most recent. Wait, where's mine though? Or maybe I can't see it because because it's me. I don't get it. But yeah, what is the 4 out of 10 if you can't give a star rating? I don't get it. Uh, only played a couple quick games. October 24. That's weird. Why isn't mine showing up? You've read all the recent reviews. Well, whatever. You saw me put it. Or like they'll flag it for spam, but I'm even recommending it and saying, I was even building it up too. Like if I was a bigger streamer, that would have made a big difference, right? People would be looking like, oh yeah, we want to check it out. Of course, I'm a nobody, so it doesn't matter. I kind of want to do one more. Maybe I should do it on here because clearly, or it's actually bugging out. Like it won't let me close it. Oh yeah, let's analyze these games. Like just 55, 79. Okay, they're not very good. I don't even really want to look at it. This guy just timed out, so he could be 100 accuracy because he didn't even play the game. 79, 39, 41. Okay, not too bad, but it was so short that it doesn't have any meaning. So again, just the integration with the rating is very satisfying because you can play actually meaningful games in a 3D environment. So that's very nice. And maybe it just takes some time for your review to actually show up, but when there's so few, it feels kind of weird that it wouldn't. I gave feedback and a review, and generally positive still, but it definitely needs some work, and I can understand the reservation, especially when you have to pay money for it. And so I think it'll be like $10, but it was on some sort of short time sale for until like the end of the month or something. It's kind of interesting that you would release a game and have it on sale right away. Like what's the occasion of the sale? Oh, the game just came out. So like that is treated like it's the baseline starting price. I didn't play very well in these classical games. I almost don't want to play another one, but I find it hard to believe. Like, for example, let's try to learn from that ending sequence. Who is winning and why did that happen? Right? Like, up to here, he is winning. It's kind of hard to believe, though. Our pieces are even. Like, what am I supposed to be doing here? You are supposed to move up there. So where did I go wrong? I guess I went wrong sooner. That it doesn't like. So he did exactly the right thing, I guess. Wait, but isn't it telling me to do that? Or are you supposed to move the king? But why? You move the king. He goes there. Okay, let's see how this plays out then. He goes there, but I think he gave a check instead. You double stack on there. It should still be a drawish position was my whole line of thinking, but what is this new blue thing they added? I've never seen that before. Like, I know there's different layers and shades to show how good or how recommended a thing is, but like a move is. Okay, so I'll try to go back in there and maybe play one more. It's just kind of hard to get closure when it's such a short thing, like when I do it only once a week, too. Okay, I just want to show that I can win a classical game still, but then this is kind of dangerous because if I lose this one, then I basically can't play anymore because then I'll risk losing my account, and I don't want to do that. So then I'll just never play classical again, I guess. But please give me a chance because now the provisional boost will run out right when I'm about to win one. But those first 2 games were ridiculous. Maybe that last one was kind of earned by him because he was low on time and he sort of won in such a way that you're basically able to uh he did like a very good rook move, but I mean, again, those positions can be so stale and annoying that they don't really feel all that interesting to me, but you have to deal with it, I guess. You could pin it down, and maybe that is worth it for me to do because I'm not taking very much good advantage of these bishops anyway. Whenever I have like a good diagonal or something, I just don't do anything with it. Cover's there. I probably should just do it. You bring the other knight out. Now what this means is you definitely cannot trade the other bishop at any cost, because you have to make sure that you find a way to, you know, get that diagonal and make it useful. So it means he has a potential bishop pair. I'm already playing kind of fast, which is kind of sad, but I'm just not in the mood, I guess, or I don't have the time or something is wrong. Or I'm just so confident in my knowledge of opening theory, clearly, that this is why. This is just for external browser, which again, if you're going to do that, then why even bother playing this in the first place? But obviously, you know, I just wish I had more functionality. You might argue like, oh, how are they supposed to have analysis? But you could have your own. That's the point. It doesn't have to be the same analysis engine as the chess. But there's so many other chess games that have their own engines built in, right? The ability to analyze. So why can't you? Because at some point it's almost just basically like you're transcribing the moves. So how hard is that? But no, I don't agree with that one guy's negative review of it bugging out and being slow and stuff. It seems to be fine from the perspective of the performance, at least from my experience. Maybe my computer is just so good that it can clearly handle that. You should be able to do this, because whether you know, you can't take, that's kind of a sly, clever little thing, I guess. If you move the knight, I can take the thing, take the bishop, which is not a big deal, but if we want to pawn out of it, I definitely cannot afford to lose the bishop, though, like for the knight. So if you move that, yeah, that would be silly if games can choose to do that, though. Like, they can just choose not to have reviews show up. Oh, this guy's spamming or this or that, even though clearly. So that was at least okay, because at least you're giving it up for something of value. Like, you're giving it up for the ability to, you know, to actually get rid of one of his bishops. So now at least he doesn't have a bishop pair. So if it does get down to an annoying slow-paced endgame, the knight could actually be better, because he can touch every square, whereas the bishop can't, to put it simply. So this pawn is at least in a good spot to block the die. I know it almost makes you want to go f3, but not really, because then look at these clown things that people do. Like, they somehow are able to... What was that sound? They're somehow able to queenside castle with such confidence all the time. I haven't misclicked or anything so far. Of course, if I lose, it's got to be because of a bug. But I've literally blundered my queen twice today, so I'm not sure what that's actually about. If you go here, he could take... I wouldn't mind that necessarily, right? Because that's a good trade in my eyes. But it would double stack my pawn in kind of an uncomfortable way. So I don't know whether I want to do that. That's the only reason, I guess, why I wouldn't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. See, this is the problem. You come here, he could take, I can't take, or I could take, but then I'm taking with the rook, which I don't want to necessarily do. This would be fine, except... I really have no idea. But yeah, we're already out of the opening. I'm out of my prep. Goes there, he attacks the queen. Doesn't really bother me too much. There's going to be some kind of crazy sack play gambit going on. Going to clearly do me in. But I don't see what it is, if there is one. His rook is open on the h file, which can be very dangerous some of the time, but it doesn't feel like this is one of those situations where you need somebody of Simply Pop's high offensive caliber that we've seen, where he can really take advantage of that. He would always punish me for whenever I would open it. Or the point is, you don't want to take anything with the pawn. So he'll like sack something, and if I take, then he can mate me somehow here, which probably isn't very likely, but I have to win this game, though. I have to. In before a draw comes up to troll me, but you could go here and then I don't know if I really want to or not. Again, I'm just sort of fiending for trades and being sort of lazy about it. And again, the main reason why not to do that is that I don't want to double stack the pawn, but at the same time, you would basically be able to do it in such a way that, yeah, see, you get a royal fork play because you could have got a royal fork, because if you took with the bishop first, then I take, then you could take with the knight. Now I don't feel as bad because, well, I don't know. He's going to do some gambit that just mates me. I don't care. Just forget it, dude. I'm too lazy to like even think about what I'm doing. You are double attacking that, so you can clearly take it. You would think that wouldn't be such a bad position for me. It's not like an immediate loss, even if it's a loss. You're attacking there, so the double threat is gone. Not a lot of good places to go. And so even if you go here, queen can come in, force a trade. This pawn always protects me from being pinned by the rook. Probably rook to g8 would be his natural next move. Wasn't even really trying to make progress, but see, I'm like, oh, I should just play one classical game just to see what it's like, because I haven't done it in so long and I'm 17, but then I end up, okay, dude. I end up losing, and then I want some sort of closure by trying to do it over and over. Even if you were to take, I could double take, it wouldn't be that bad, but the point is that if I move it, you could check, then it kind of be the same situation. If I move it, it would be that. If you do it here, it'd be a take. At least here you have to do it on sort of a dead play, in the sense that you have to, you have to go here, and then I could double take, whereas there you could have took and then took and then took, so you would have took the queen plus the knight. Now it's not a disadvantageous thing for me. If he brings the queen to give a check, I could just take, and then I don't think that leads to a mate, because the knight would at least protect in a manner of speaking here. You gotta watch for his light square bishop and what it intends to do. Maybe bishop to g4 could, no, I could just take it. That might seem like a good thing for him, and it probably is, but I can't see exactly how it's so good, because you end up in a position where now the queen can't even give a check, and so as long as I stabilize the position a little bit, I'm actually at a decent material advantage, right? Because I have two knights. This is equal to the queen and then some, and then you have an extra knight. I just have to play it the right way, which of course I'm not typically very capable of doing, but you would give a check like there and just take it immediately, let's say. Right, if I just go there, then if I go here, wait. If I go here, you give a check. I could block. This is where it would be helpful to actually use my time and actually think a little bit about what I'm doing, but we're both playing at a very relaxed, sort of blitz-esque pace. You gotta watch the light square bishop. It's the one and only thing he actually has in any sort of like level of activity. I could try to sneak a rook here to the h file. I don't mind doing this, but I don't know what the next step is. Right, we gotta put one of these knights in a very obnoxious spot to just block his diagonal or do something of the sort. The H file does belong to me now, which can be pretty good, but look how reactive and slow of a play it actually is the big thing. And so he could go here and try to take... No, he can't go there, can't go there, can't go there, can't... He could go there. Not a lot of great options for him. He's about as aimless as me. So we just have to stay focused. We're in a good material position. Got to maintain it. Going like here would be pretty good to try to bait the trade or try to... I normally say I don't like the 2 rooks for the queen, though, because it's a lot harder to use 2 rooks, and if you disconnect them, you can end up, you know, the queen can kind of give a check and take one, and it can be very difficult to use it. So unless you're a very experienced, advanced player like me, you probably wouldn't want to do that. You'd still prefer the queen. There's nothing really still too good about this position, so I have to be very patient and careful. I could give a check, but it wouldn't do anything, right? There's no knight follow-up play for it. We still have to be careful. Can't go anywhere in here, which is a great boon. The best he could do is double attack this, which doesn't matter. You could try to get the thing in there somehow. You can kind of just keep needling him a bit with the rook, though, and this sets up for a double stack. And so it doesn't affect the rest of the position at all. So if he... Not even really pinning anything down. If he takes, I take. If he takes, I take. If he brings that, I can easily take something. Gotta watch the... Okay. Double stack could be incoming here, and there's no problem with doing it. It's just a question of what is he sort of doing. And it mostly seems very aimless, maybe. You could attack the thing with the bishop, but I could still take. You could just keep harassing the queen more and more. A lot of cheeky threats that aren't really that productive. I could check here, but it doesn't do anything is the problem. I'm going to miss something major by trying to play like this, but I guess it's okay. I'd be willing to give up a pawn, too, just to force the trade of the bishop. Then there's a queen versus 2 rooks and a knight. And it'll be possibly a very good knight position, too. If you just... What would this even do for me? It seems like nothing. Go like this. I mean, how many queen threats can I do before he eventually, you know, gets trapped or something? You would think this almost should be it, but it's not because he can still come here, for fuck's sake. Fine, I'll just do a frustration check. Or I could take this, but it's going to end badly because he'll somehow do something crazy. I'll have to move the one thing. He'll push that. I don't know. Could be very, very bad, or it's like he knew I was going to do that. So let's just go back before anything bad happens. If he raises, I could do like a cheeky move like that. Because then if he... No, but he would take and check too, so... It's not a big deal, but it will prevent me from stopping him from coming in as comfortably as before. Like, or you'd be able to come there and start to maybe decimate the pawns on the other side. I'm not really sure what's going on. Can't give the check there on F3, I guess is the only benefit of that. I control the H file pretty well. Your move could be like D2 or C1, right? Both to threaten the things on the other side. This is actually pretty good though, because it also covers that pawn. So if I just raise, now you can't really threaten anything with the queen at all. Just I swear, I'm not just going deaf, but this is the quietest music I've ever heard in the game, and it's supposedly maxed out. And so is my thing, right? I just have to remember to analyze the games, even if I don't actually look at them on the chess, because I just like to keep my database up to date with whatever shitty accuracies I'm getting, sent to pawn loss and stuff. That's the first time I ever heard that term was on the chess. And I didn't even know the chess existed. Like, I don't know how long it's been around, but for as big of a site as it is, it's the second biggest site compared to obviously chess.com. I never even knew what it was until this last couple years of coming back to streaming. So I would take, you would take, I would take would be totally worth it. I mean, I can't even consider why it wouldn't be. You would take, I would take, you would take, I would still take. What if I just pin it down? Then you won't be able to do anything with it. Can you hear me now? He always has that muted thing, but I don't know if that means he's like, sometimes he can hear me even when it is there. I don't even know how you use icons like that. There's so many things about Twitch functionality that I don't know. I got to really try to raid somebody one of these times, but so this is pinned down so I could just take, and then he can't take. Simple as that. If he moves the king, then I guess it doesn't matter. Like, I'd be happy to trade the thing. I'd be happy to trade the, I guess, do this, or you could do the knight. Now, if I did the knight, it would be good, but it would be bad because of this pawn. So maybe I won't take a chance. The bishop is pinned, but I can't really do anything to it still. So maybe I'll just wait a little bit. On one of my worst classical streaks ever. In fact, I almost disallowed this from happening because I always said I would only play one until I lose one classical game each episode. So either I have to go on a good streak or I just lose one at most. The beauty of this is I can do what I just said, but I guess I can't because he would still do that. Just I'm gonna disregard the pawns and then fuck up somehow, because I'll do like, this kind of dictates his movement a little bit, right? He'll take this one because he can't take this one. Then I'll take this one. Then he won't be able to take this one. Then I'll be double attacking this, and you shouldn't be able to save it because the queen would be whatever it is. Like, you're giving up a lot of pawns in doing this. Or you know what I could even do? I could put that there, but I actually can't. Got more hours where you work, so more money. Nice. So now, if you take there, I take. If you take there, I take this. Even if you do this, I'll still do it, and then I win because you don't have anything left. Right? It would be just that simple. You cover it. I would take, you would take, I would take, you would take. How am I up by that much that I would even be allowed to do that? I guess it's because, obviously, the 2 rooks for the price of 1. I can't believe how much time I actually streamed chess for, though, or played chess, I guess, period, during that time. That showed you I was really trying to see how far I could go. If you're trying to tell me 1350-ish on chess.com is it, and I'm fine with it, then I would always see, I would always see that I could study and it wouldn't mean as much to me now. But that means more. I consider myself a failure at chess because I couldn't get to like 17, 18, whatever, without studying. Now, even if I get to 2500 or 22, 23, whatever, become an IM, FM, something, I wouldn't care as much. So that shows you the intrinsic way that I value it, because it's just very basic and inherent. And I think some people can appreciate that. That would have meant more to me getting 1700 like that than studying for years and getting to something else. So it shouldn't be possible to save that. So you might just take a pawn for all your trouble, and I would almost welcome it. So you could take and it would be fine, or you could check, but then you could take. It'd be better to do this, and I think you're in a bit of a pickle unless there's something I'm missing. There very easily could be. Give another check. Give a check with the rook. Like, okay, so at least we win one. So I'll get back to 1650. What do we got? What do we got? Yeah, overzealous here for sure, but it's okay. I do have the other knight to bring into the fray as well, so you would think some good things should be coming my way. You can't go here. You can't go here. What can you even do? You have to block with the queen? Oh, I didn't even realize it, but yeah, I think he has to sack the queen. Look at that. You can't go here because of the knight. Can't go here because of the pawn. What the fuck? So everybody has to blunder a queen, but it's a little bit different here. At least it's forced. Wait a second, dude. Oh, but it doesn't matter. It's the same result. Back into a take on the queen. Again, I played a rapid game. You gave him a little bit of time odds. Like, I'm still not taking my time. I'm not going to push my luck either. I just want to see that I got to 1500, or not 1500, 1650. I better be careful though, because I don't want to play too. I just wanted to get out of the provisional thing. So if we see it on a provisional boost level, what is it going to tell me? Like, it's going to tell me basically that what thing am I at? I'm better than. Or no, it's still not giving me the rank. How many games do I have to play? I just threw 3 games on purpose, but I guess it doesn't believe me. Like, oh, you're not really that bad. You're just kind of out of touch with it. 10 days, 4 hours played. You should see my WoW characters from back in the day. Holy shit, dude. I kind of want to analyze that, but I guess you have to be logged in to analyze it. Yeah, fuck. But then I can't log in because this game is such a whore in a certain sense, with respect. Just the fact that you're able to... you know, whatever. Let's play a couple 10-minute games then, since we redeemed our 30-minute failure. And I could try out some of the other P sets and stuff, but I guess I'll save it for now. I would guess you earn, I mean, I don't know. Why does he care so much? I mean, I guess that's not that much. 50 to 60 would be like... I love all these people who say, like, oh, you know, we're struggling to earn a livable wage and this and that. And then it's like, also, we'll buy a new iPhone or something. Right? Like, people don't really appreciate what they're actually saying sometimes. This is awesome, though, because this is all I ever wanted. Or you can even use the chat. Maybe I'm missing some functionality. How can you use chat? Is that chat, like, for the game, or is that for the site? Would that integrate with the site? Because a lot of functionality of the site you can't use here, which I can understand, but... You should at least be able to mimic the functionality for whatever the purpose of the game. Like, for example, the E6 and stuff, the notation isn't like this on the site. So they obviously are doing their own things with this, which is good, but... So he's going to bring out the knight, and then what I do from there is up to me. Let's see, we go here. It's amazing how something so simple as this was so hard for people to do. Sometimes those sounds make it sound like they're just mating you or something, or they're resigning. Like, it's such a dramatic thing, but even just when you take a piece or something. You get a nice little fireplace ambiance. I keep trying to mouse wheel to scroll out, but it doesn't actually work. You have to use like W and S and stuff. Maybe it's console friendly. They're gonna put it on every next gen consoles. I always find that like a waste when they don't do that with you know, card games. Like Hearthstone should have been on console. It would have done even better. Or some games, you know, I'm shitting on for being mobile only, like PvZ Heroes. I get paid less than 100 a week, but now that changes. I guess he wasn't working too many hours though. Or yeah, even their money is like monopoly money, right? It's not even worth as much, even though that's going to be the US dollar pretty soon. Where it just goddamn crashes, so everybody's stocking up on gold and stuff. Ron Paul's time has arrived at last. What's he doing? Going here, I would take, you know, if you don't take though, how do you benefit? Because you have to consider that you're opening the rook, but I guess it doesn't matter because you're going to be in trouble either way. Or even if you do take with the rook, you would be forked. So let's see if he makes an amateur mistake like that. He doesn't. Guy's too good for that, I guess. Maybe I could bait him into doing it now. But it wouldn't matter because he would, I don't know. No, but then mine would be uncovered, so that could lead to all sort of uncomfortable things for me too. Where is his bishop? I'm not really paying attention to any of this. At least allows the pawn to be free, although it then requires a cover constantly. We had a potential fork there, but see, again, you shouldn't even look for stuff like that. You're just hoping he makes a mistake. That's the sort of stuff you should just see. If it does happen, okay, take advantage of it. But that's the mark of a bad player, right? Like, you're looking for stuff that is super obvious that anybody could see, that you're just hoping, oh, I hope he blunders this. I hope he gives me his queen or some, you know, really dumb move. But that's not stuff you really have to look for. It's either there or it's not. But it's like, you know, that's the best you can come up with is something like that. Which obviously for me it apparently is, but for now. He moves the knight. I don't know what I'm even doing though. Fucking stupid. I even say it as I'm doing it, I don't know, but is 60,000 annual a lot? I mean, I guess by worldwide standards it probably is, but not probably pretty average here. It's like 6 figures is always considered a good standard. Not even that that's, I mean, that is a good, you know. Would have thought it would be. It's okay. He raises that. I don't know what I'm doing at all, man. He moves that back. I mean, if he takes, I take. It's not a big deal. If he doesn't take, I can take. I don't want to take with the pawn. He could take this. Or I guess I did take with that. He could still take because, yeah. But see, what he did there had nothing to do with that. But I guess if he takes the rook, I take the queen. So he still has to address it first. And then you could move this back to here. So we're not at like a terrible disadvantage, but you could take here clearly. But then I could take, but then I can't take because then he would take. Making all the right moves, huh? So how bad is my material disadvantage now? I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pawns. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pawns. And then rook, double rooks, queens. He has bishop, bishop. Yeah, so I'm not really doing very well here. You're attacking there, I don't really care. Hope you just blunder your queen. Our time is pretty even, but his position is far superior. Does that, which is not a big deal at all, actually. Bring this back, just be careful. This is covered by the queen. In Australia, it's 94. Yeah. I guess everything gets adjusted in terms of the standard of living. Like, somehow, or I mean, everything gets adjusted in such a way that everything costs more. Like, oh, you make more. Like it's like with New York City, right? Oh, you make way more money in New York City than you do somewhere else, but everything costs more too. Living costs, this and that. So it's kind of a facade of it. I mean, it depends on so many factors. I guess you can't really. Okay, here you could check and fork and take, except I'm imagining that. Just go here. I don't know what I'm even doing. You could double attack there. If he takes, it's fine. Or now he can't even take. Gonna push this point with the passed pawn. I have a triple take opportunity, triple attack. He pushes it to there. And so what I could do is maybe you could check. Not like a big gain there, but maybe if he, like, you'd be in check now, so I could like guarantee the take on something, right? Wherever I could go, I could guarantee the take. The problem is that you can't do it because, damn it, like you unleash the check. Maybe I can keep giving checks though. Endless check chain here. Give another check. How much does your pasta cost and what kind? I will find out what it is here. Yeah, you don't really think of that as a Domino's thing, pasta, but it's actually pretty good. I never even really get their pizza. I'll get the pasta, maybe I'll get like some sort of chicken, but I'll never get the, like, just pizza. Okay, I guess I have to do this then, because I have no choice but to try to limit what's happening with the back rank here. So I might have to sack something for it, and so I'm not too happy about it. But you would think he's almost made it, but I have no awareness to be able to see stuff like that. I guess if I go here, you go there, I go there, like, you just fucking do it, dude. Everything's covered by the knight. You can't move up. You can't do anything. You go like this, but he takes it. You go like this, but he takes that, but he can't take it. Like, what does it take to mate a king? Like, you got 3 pieces up his ass. I just don't know what to tell you, dude. Now it's going to turn into some sort of stupid fork type thing. Like, I could unleash this into anything I want, but there's nothing actually good to do, so I don't know. So I could unleash and like take the queen even if he promotes, but I could also just take it, period. Or I could do it now, like where I just take the thing. You're in check, and then I take, or wait, yeah, he was setting up to try to take that. It's a very weird and ugly game. What? Oh, right, of course. Well, you expect that they make a mistake, but they're just not capable of doing that. Like, nobody ever makes mistakes but me, I guess. Okay, that's very cute, but I mean, I can't do it. Not even that I couldn't still take this, it's that it doesn't matter. He's still winning even without it. Wouldn't be hard for him to promote something else. Give a check, I don't know even why. Basically fork a couple pieces there. Doesn't do a whole lot either. So his whole point was to try to come and, I don't know. Comes there, he can take, it'd be some sort of back rank cheeky thing. Like, how do they do this, dude? How? It's such a stupid game, man. Give me a fucking stalemate. I don't know what this really means though. Like you could look back in your history. There's like no UI, no feedback, no nothing. Which again, as much as I was looking forward to this sort of thing, I don't even almost mind it, but whatever, dude. It's one of those things that you almost can't even complain because there's nothing else really like it. So you're almost forced to appreciate, okay, let me do one more game or something. At least I won my one classical thing. 1 out of like 4. Which is very necessary because I was getting scared about tanking it and having to delete this account too. This is why you never resign, because people are bigger clowns than you and they might stalemate or they might get overconfident. But you rarely see stalemates at this very high advanced level, which is like 1500-ish. You can't even see what their fucking rating is, but... Or that was a misplay. Taking the free bishop means that I have a lower likelihood of stalemate because he's got less pieces on the board to restrict my movement. Okay, hurry up, dude. What do you do? Do force for threefold repetition. That's the most visually annoying thing about the game. Don't show me the notation on the thing. Even around the outside is one thing. It's like they're rubbing it in your face. Like, don't you suck at notation and you have no idea what you're doing with it? Yes, I do, but I should always have the option whether I can see it or not. This is very ugly. Nobody wants to see that. And so now you're gonna stalemate me clearly in the corner here. Try to over promote, and the bad karma for which is obviously okay. We lost the game. I don't even know what rating I am. I don't even know what rating that guy was. You can look. I just got to remember always at the end to analyze these. Or maybe I don't have to because I could just minus 16, 15, 19. What was I at the beginning with the thing? I lost one, won one, lost one. So I guess it stayed pretty much stabilized. Okay, last game, 10-minute for whatever it's worth. Random. Like, who would ever choose random? Why not just choose white? But then it obviously wouldn't match you against somebody unless they choose black, right? Not going to force them to be that. Let's take a look at this. Black almost suits me more because of my overly defensive style anyway. You're like not supposed to take here, or maybe you are. Now I can't remember. No, you're typically not supposed to take it. I think you're supposed to like stack up as much stuff on there as possible. Even like as far as this. I would take, he would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. So what does he do? He covers that. I don't know at what point you're supposed to let this whole position explode, but clearly if he pushes it out, then I have no choice. Light square bishop don't really care. Yeah, that's one thing you should test in a game like this is the bullet experience or something. Like how smooth is it? And it doesn't seem too bad as far as like, you know, how quickly you could do some of the stuff. So even if you were to do this, it wouldn't do anything because of the simple fact that you can cover with the bishop right off the top there. But let's just do this. If you take, I take, incorporate the thing, the queen, or I mean the knight. Wow, what an insult. I just called the queen the worst piece in the game. He comes there, he gives a check, doesn't really matter. You could even do that, but I don't feel the need. Play it like a bullet game, blitz game, psych them out, even though he's still up on time. Comes like this, he pins it down. Not really too big of a deal. You can just ignore it. Covered by the rook, covered by the bishop. If I move the bishop, he can take the pawn. Alright, we can kind of bring this above the pawns, I guess, and make it active. Oh, you can hear now? Cool. Let's see, we could go back. Actually, I can't really do much of anything. Go here. Here you can only get pizza and pasta. Oh, you can get pasta though? But like no boneless wings or anything, chicken wings and stuff? So if he moves the thing, I should pretty much win the game, but I guess it's not guaranteed because he'll still not be in mate because of the stupid rook being in front. I'm not even a fan of Domino's. I always like Pizza Hut more, just in general, right? But I could never. It's just too expensive. Those are aside. This doesn't actually do all that much because, you know, you're still not able to take that, even though it is awkward because you can't move it or you lose the rook, or you could do like this and then this to escape it. It didn't let me do a star rating or anything on that though. That was kind of weird. Do like this, or I can't. Kind of a weird spot to be in. Can't go here. He takes. Go here, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Gotta make sure he doesn't fork me. I can't believe I gave up a royal fork, and I can't believe I lost my queen in 2 separate different classical games back to back. One of which was at least drawable, one of which was maybe not that good, but I'm gonna incorporate this, but then he'll take I don't know what's happening, but trading the queen would be okay, I guess, with me. Won't be able to take this no matter what, though, as far as the... Goes there. I would take, wouldn't really matter. He's giving up seemingly the knight. Gives a check from there, shouldn't really matter. I don't see what else he's doing. Nothing really crazy about that, right? Unless you're going to do a 3-fold repetition, but you shouldn't even be able to do that because I could block with the queen still, no matter which way you go about it. And then this would even allow me to take with the bishop because now you can't do anything. Although it is still pinned, so that could maybe backfire a little bit. I would take, he would take, I would take, he would take, I would still take. But there could be unexpected... Oh, fuck. There could be unexpected problems with that, and there it is, exactly. Incredible. What? Oh, I'm in check. Yeah, well, that wasn't exactly what I meant, even when there's unexpected problems with that. You can just go here. Okay, maybe I'll do one more. This is so annoying, man. They're winning in such dumb ways, or are they even winning? Did they win that game, or did I lose that game? As Russell Westbrook would be so incredulous to be asked. You don't deserve it, dude. Even when I win games and I don't deserve them, I'll tell you, like, oh, that guy timed out. He just AFK'd out the whole game, the one rapid game I won earlier. So, like, you don't deserve to win that, but I'll take it. But yeah, how do you even choose to not play ranked here? Because it seems like everything is ranked. Which is the whole beauty of it, but maybe there should be casual options. So this is kind of interesting, though, like how they're sort of ripping off of Lichess, and you're sort of... You know, this is something that Lichess itself could have done, like just designed their own 3D sets and let you use them kind of freely and stuff like that. But so it benefits them in that way, but it also benefits this game, obviously, that it relies on that entirely. They stole my idea. I deserve a royalty for it, even though it's so obvious and such a common thing that you would think would be pursued by a lot of developers, but nobody's really done anything like it. I'm sure it's not easy to do. The only pastas you can get on there are the lot, buffalo chicken, bacon, mac and cheese, bacon, mac and cheese, chicken, bacon, meat lovers, fire breather. That's actually quite a lot, though. I just get like a regular basic one, chicken Alfredo. This is no good. You'd come there and double attack it, which would be annoying. We could attack the queen. And there you go. Yeah, see, like right there, I don't deserve the game, and so it's okay. And so now clearly I'll throw and lose on purpose just because I feel that I don't deserve it. Or now I will start to play even more fast and incredulous than before. But even this will probably be boosted in a provisional sense just because of the fact that you're able to, whatever, you know, just because I haven't played in so long in either way. I guess I maybe have played a little bit though here and there in this because I almost had to. Right, like when I was waiting for matches in something. Yeah, I didn't have to wait for matches in Roblox chess because that's actually an active game. Of course, you can't compare it to this because this isn't, you know, this doesn't deserve credit for building the community, if anything. Like, even if it's good, I mean, couldn't I just win with just a knight? But I shouldn't put my hopes in that. Like, if he takes, I'll double take, but then I'll lose the rook too, so it's not worth it, obviously. I'll just take. Takes I take is fine. It is pretty smooth, like how fast you can do this shit as a bullet expert clicker, of course. Just hurry it up, dude. Bartanovich. Go here, attack this. He pushes out, I take. There aren't too many piece sets and stuff to choose. The pastas cost around $12. I don't know how big they are. Yeah, they're probably smaller too because obviously American sizes are blown way out of proportion. So now if he does that, I won't be able to take because he's covered. So you're gonna have to do something really slow paced and annoying here, I guess, because even with my immense material advantage, he's not making this too easy. At least if I get some pawn thing going here, it's good. If he moves up, if I go here, you raise. Whatever, you go here, try to take this. He raises it. Go here, give a check, but it's not covered. Raises, take is forced. Go here, take. So, I mean, again, is this really an instructive, good, deserving, positive feeling game when the guy just wonders his queen? He avoided one loss of his queen, like, oh no, the queen's under attack by the knight, but then he just moves into another one. You enjoy it. If you could do something else, would you? I mean, I think people know how much I like psychology, and I've done that before, but you know, it is what it is. Like, I would obviously prefer something in that again, but I didn't really like some of the, you know, because you can't really do that. I guess I shouldn't say it like that, but you can't really do that in a freelance sense as much. So I like to it's kind of a conflict between the schedule and the, you know, and the subject of what you're doing. So I'd rather have more of a free schedule, even if I end up still working more. So it's kind of oxymoronic, but you know, it's kind of a compromise. I love all these stories that people hear, like, oh, they quit their job to become a streamer or something. Like, sure, that can be a good success story, but nobody should do it on that standard. Like, now you can't take. So if you take, then take. You know, you should never go into it like that, expecting that, because then what if it doesn't work out? Then you just quit your job for nothing, and people do dumb stuff like that. So if you go, you can't go here. You can go back. You could check here, maybe. Going into the military, I'll get to spend every day with your friends. That is good. That's always a good, like, benchmark for something else. Like, while you're in the military, then they give you all kind of benefits, like, you know, they'll pay for any college course you want, or they'll, so then when you come out of it, it can be very good. It's not like something you're expecting to do forever, you know? Although some people do that. Go here, give a check. He's just really belaboring the point here a lot, dude. Why you gotta be like this? I could literally just sack my queen for the thing and I still win, but that's too lazy. How hard it is to get the knight actually involved here, dude. Do this. I just want to give a check with the knight, but it's very hard to do that. You go here, you go here. Wait. What happened? Didn't I just have a knight there? Knight c4. It turned into a pawn. Wait, am I missing something? Knight c4, g4. It actually bugged. Is that actually a bug I get on video? How do we have this? h6, knight c4. Right, knight goes to c4, but now it's not a knight. It's actually a better piece than a knight. Imagine that. I'll still win, but that's... What the fuck? Okay, dude, if you win this, I don't even give a shit. Maybe you could draw it, actually. That's a very lazy thing to do, actually. I could cover... Oh, no. But you still have to stay attached to that guy. Here, we'll go with this one, and then there's nothing you should be able to do on the other side, but that was not a good thing by me. Cover both of them. There's a bait him in the other direction, I guess. So he had no choice but to do that. And then by the time you do this, I mean, he'll probably draw it or he'll probably win it. Who cares? Like, I'm just bored. That's why it's called a board game. I saw that Norm Macdonald clip, like he says. Chairman of the board. He's shitting all over somebody who's doing like their first movie after doing like a successful TV show. Okay, see you later. And he's like, oh yeah, chairman of the board. I bet it's spelled B-O-R-E-D. And he was like just trashing them the whole time. Like a really old clip. Thanks. But he could have probably done better there actually at the end. So I don't understand how that's possible, because how would that... I got to see that. Like, what happened in the game? Or maybe I'm just tired and I'm not paying attention, but how would a knight of mine turn into a pawn? Like, what is this, dude? And it's not like, oh, it's just visually represented there, but like on the chess it would show a pawn. That's almost an impressive bug, because how would that make sense? Like, it's a real game that's being played on the chess for rating. So how do you even do that? Not saying the chess itself couldn't have bugs, but I mean, we haven't seen something quite like that. That is incredible. Thankfully, it didn't have much impact on the game, because this guy obviously just blundered his queen. But imagine if that was the decisive thing. Imagine if I fail a permanent challenge because of that. But then I would still say I had plenty of other chances to win, so it shouldn't come down to that. That's why, like, even on chess.com, even if somebody was cheating, like the guy who had 3 brilliant moves in one game, little Judith Polgar Jr., it doesn't matter, because that's just one game, right? Like, I can accept losing that, but when I lose like 7 in a row and go on a really bad streak, then it's just not acceptable. So you could just flag. I almost want to do one more. That would be more like a proper game. That's the addictive thing about chess, is you just want some sort of closure. Either you lose a game and you want something better, or you win a game and it's not a good enough win, or you draw a game and that's not satisfying either. The chess is the ultimate cucklord kind of game. Just nothing ever makes you happy. You win and oh, I didn't deserve it because he just blundered. you lose, oh, I could have seen the blunder, so it doesn't really count. Like anybody could see that blunder, I just wasn't paying attention. And then you draw, and it's like, oh well, everybody's unhappy. A pretty cool room. You should always be able to decorate your own room in terms of this, buy like little things, you know, like make it like a GTA apartment or something. Put some books there that you can read while waiting for your opponent to make their move. But then that would be unfair because then you're cheating. Make a memory palace out of this room. Like each part of it has some sort of thing that reminds you, like, oh, this is the rarely seen triple stack where you have 2 rooks and a queen, or whatever. You can analogize it to something. That's how geniuses think with the associative process. Everything like has some other deeper symbolic meaning to them, or something like that. There's that really good scene from Amadeus where, even though it's horribly historically inaccurate, like where his wife's mother is yelling at him, and then it shows him like imagining that turning into an opera, and then that's his next opera, is like sounding like her yelling or whatever. Okay, I'll do one more, I guess. But yeah, generally speaking, I'm rooting for the game, but maybe I won't even play it next week though, because I'm gonna do, obviously, no, but what I could do is leave it like in the background, because this is meant to be like so like whatever I would normally play on the chess, I'll play on this instead. But I don't know. It's nice at least to have it as an ongoing potential series. So what other chess games do I have to play? I have to play like Nintendo Clubhouse. I can do the same one over and over too. It's not like I can't make a mini series, but I just kind of wanted to do some variety. And this is the only one that really seems like it's going to have a possible player base, which is kind of sad. Or I'd be better off playing Roblox chess still, because that's the only way. Like, imagine having to do that. You know what I mean? I'm looking through all these games that are made, like chess specific games, and you can't find players in them ever. I wonder what else they've made. Exeter, I feel like they haven't made much, probably. I think I looked at their website the other day too in anticipation of this. Like maybe they have like board games. There's like virtual board games. I mean, not even like this, like probably other weird stuff. He is gonna flag after already giving up his queen. Okay, let's do one more high quality game just to show my poise. It gives them like a few extra seconds, which doesn't make sense. Like, how come? Why did I have to wait till -7? What if it was a bullet game and he's supposed to flag? So I'm very curious to analyze that game, actually. Because how did the thing turn into a... the knight turned into a pawn, which in my book would be a good thing. That's an upgrade of a piece, which in a lot of cases actually could be, but... Okay, last game for sure. I don't care. Win, loss, just play the game. JRE is chess. Oh, he's going to flag. I don't care what he does. He could be the best player ever. He could be cheating. He could flag. He could AFK. He could blunder his queen. I don't care. Just play the game, dude. Takes. I check. Which is not really a good move either, but main problem with it is it restricts the bishop's movement anyway, so why would you even want to do that? It's not normally how I play, actually. Right, the best, you save the best for last, basically, with the queen. In chess, it's not ladies first, all these little stupid things, ways you can remember it. Now the queen's in a weird spot where you kind of just don't really want it to be there. Bring darks for bishop. You can bring a knight. Bring the knight. What else? Let's try to maybe clean up these pawns a little bit if he comes into there. We might actually be trapped, but he's not even seeing it. The queen might have actually been trapped. No, probably not. Takes. He could unleash. And then we could just cover the thing, cover the queen. Or I mean, over the bishop. Takes the bishop, I take back. If he takes the pawn, I take the pawn with the double diagonal connection. Pin down his knight there over. Let's see. This I don't really find all that interesting to use, but how do you get rid of it again? I forgot. Oh, that. I mean, you could just do this and then you could take it after the fact. Right, take. Kind of want to leave it there anyway, so we're in a decent positional spot. You could go like here and then combine the attack into a double attack pin. Go like this. Or you know what? I don't even want to do it though. Go ahead, double bishop pawn. I don't care. The point is you still can't move it though. So if you take the knight, I take the bishop. If you don't, I could double take. Or wait. No, but the bishop is covered too, so that might not work. And it definitely doesn't work. This isn't even pinned down to anything, but somehow there's nowhere really go. Oh, shit. Or, wait. I don't understand what happened. If I had took, he would have took, but he could have, I don't know, if he could have done that better, actually won something. Oh, here, he's going to try to block it in, which probably might not be that hard to do. Fork. Okay, dude. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 1, 2, 3. It's hard to keep track of your material advantage as much as it's trying to help you with the notation and everything. Takes there. Just let him do it. I don't care. I'm tired. So in a fork you, it's still not too bad of a position, but it's just kind of weird. Still covering the thing. Attacking there, which might come into play later. Double stacks. There's no threat on the back rank or anything. Take. Goes there. It almost is like the knight is trapped. If you were to just attack it, you can't cover it with any. No, but you can't do that because even if it seems like, oh no, it can't go anywhere, it doesn't matter because you would basically feel like you can't trade down for it, right? You can't trade down the rook for the knight, so it doesn't matter that you were basically trapping it there. This was generally not a very high quality game, but whatever. Like, he's not good. We have the double stack, but it doesn't really do anything for me, and they're both on light squares, so that could come back to haunt me a little bit. Go here, but then he could take, so I don't want him to take, but I don't really have a choice, I guess. Let him take, I take, he checks. Double attack there. You just play around the light square bishop, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Does the same thing there. And so not much I can really do about it, actually. He could take there, but he can't give a check. Or he could give one check, and then maybe he's in trouble. Gives him somewhere to go. You could put him on like a wild check chain, or you could do this. No, he's got too many answers, though. Too many ways to stop it here. Give a check, I go there, it doesn't matter. If you take this, it's not that big of a deal. Nothing's really adequate here. Check there. It should be made, but it takes a while at least sometimes to mate. And maybe you can't even, because eventually you're going to run into that. Right? So maybe it's not that simple. I want to see you screw it up. Go there and then I double take. Go there and I take. You're going to let me like fort the rooks with the king, but even though that's not really plausible. You do it here, but that doesn't help me at all because I'll still do it though. Whatever, he's gonna win. You got a couple extra pawns. You can't actually take anything there. You kind of just feel like you have to double attack that, but even that wouldn't help because you still would not want to trade down for it, really. He almost doesn't care about the bishop at all. And now it's a perfect time for it to cover on the final spot. But I guess even if he did that, I would have took. Give the check, take. I see it. Not a very good day of chess in terms of performance, but at least whatever. We're just trying out the game, which is pretty good. And then I don't know what I'll do next week. I think Clubhouse 51 is the only other one I've mentioned as part of the Clown Show rotation of games. It just is too minimalistic in terms of the UI and stuff. It has to give you at least the same amount of feedback as the website itself does. Okay, so let's just analyze the rest of those games. And then I want to see in particular that one that I won, in which the horse actually became, like, I just want to see how would it appear here. And of course, now it'll appear as Star Wars pieces. How do I even know which ones I have and haven't analyzed? I guess I'd have to go in here and see if it requests a computer analysis is available, right? How do you do this? Oh, here first. Request computer analysis, right? Because it would just show up, I think. I haven't used this in a long time, but, or maybe I haven't. No, I think I always do analyze them. I just like it more for the data, even if I don't look at it, really. Lecture 16, okay. So we didn't do that one, apparently. Which was what? I'll just double check all of them. I don't know what I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, which one was the one? It was like the one before last, I guess. Because even though I was dissatisfied, the fact that I won. Oh, welcome back. I was dissatisfied because the guy blundered his queen, so I wanted like give us one quality instructive game, but then I just blunder a piece, so you just can't have those, I guess. Low rated players aren't bad, you see, they're just. Is this the one where it was knight to c4? I don't know, I'll look for it at the end. You know, they're just inconsistent. They can play at really good levels for stretches, but they have to really focus, or that's kind of what I realized too, even in like the slower formats that I do so much better in. It's like you can do as good as you want, but it's very exhausting because, you know, I could play like one really good, like 2000 rated, literally, you know, against a 2000 player and draw it or something a day. But then I would be so exhausted from it because it's like you're trying so hard to calculate because you don't have anything else. It becomes so much easier and more comfortable. Not saying it's easy to play at a high level, but like it becomes easier because you know so many fundamentals. You've studied the game for years. So now it's very, why are they Star Wars? That's just a custom set that I have on here, but it's just, Obviously, black is the Empire, even though the stormtroopers are white. What a contradiction. It is pretty awesome, though, actually, some of these sets. Part of the reason, actually, why I like the chess. But again, it's not like they made these themselves. It's just they allow them to be used. Like, it's such a cool idea, actually, but it is kind of weird that they're. I guess it's the only way that it makes sense, but basically, you don't want both of them to be different, because then that makes it way too confusing. This was the one that he just timed out, I guess, flagged. Do this. That one apparently I looked at. So let's just try to find like the most recent one that totally clowned around in terms of literally bugging out the game, because I want to see from his perspective, how did that look? Did it really change, or did it just change in my game? And if it did, then how does that make sense? It wouldn't have changed on the website because we've never seen that happen, something like that happen before. But that's one of the faults of the whole integration that obviously might have issues in it. Very random bug. Even the notation proves that it's a bug by itself. Just because, like, how your knight goes to c4, and then your next move is like pawn to c5. Like, how the fuck did that happen? So which one was it? It must have been this one, right? When he timed out, he was all salty. Or no, it's even showing the knight. I guess it'd be confusing because we're using this, but even if you look with normal, whatever, it would make more sense if I turn that off. So the knight was there, but I couldn't see it, right? You saw in my game. This is the one reason to stream, not because, oh, you have instructive content or anything interesting. Like, just in case some wild shit like this happens to me, at least I have proof of it. Like, what the fuck was that? I literally just... You could see that it was a pawn, and not only did it look like a pawn, like, okay, maybe the model just bugged out. When I tried to move it, it moved like a pawn too, so I couldn't move it, So I don't know what the fuck that was. It doesn't bother me too much because, obviously, I still win the game, but you have to imagine, to me, this appeared like a pawn, so maybe this didn't, holy hell, this didn't actually look as good because I could have easily lost that game. Anarchy chest. Yeah, this is this is actually a set that's actually on the site, right? They added this Candy. Okay, see you tomorrow.